Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm actually going live later than I wanted to, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Okay, I've only got about 3.5 hours and then I need to go for a bit. But then I will be back later. I will be back up later. But unfortunately, I've got some matters to attend to. Yo, Sister Barrymore, thank you for the kick. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yes, I'm here, guys. I'm here. I'm showing my face. I'm showing my face. I'm showing my face, guys. What's happening anyway? What's going on? I've not even seen what's happening today. Nah, well, dude, Starmer Tent is pointless now because he's not going to be the Prime Minister soon. Guys, I've got to go later. I'll be streaming Britpole for approximately 18 minutes, then I'm leaving. No, it's okay. We're going to talk about the Odyssey being woke because there's a Piers Morgan debate about it. So that's good. That's a good topic. Are there too many blacks in Christopher Nolan's latest movie? Let's be real. Let's be real. That's what it actually is, isn't it? But I don't know, man. I've not seen the movie, but I see a lot of controversy about it. What do you think, guys? What do you reckon? What are you saying? Okay, what's this story? What's going on here?
This is the moment Owen Flowers is arrested for a multi-million-pound cyber attack orchestrated from his bedroom. At the time of his arrest, he is just 17 years old.
Bro, that is a rough 17. Thick like Gideon. That's a 17-year-old inside out, you fucking pedo. That's a 17-year-old, you dirty little pedo.
And this is his co-conspirator, Talha Joubert. He's just 18 years old here.
Well, always good to have a brown. Always good to have a brown in the mix for the racists, for the racists in chat.
This is the story of how two teenagers hacked Transport for London's computer systems.
Two young boys that have got talent and potentially a brighter future have ended up going down such a serious criminal pathway.
Cost the company tens of millions of pounds.
Your actions were primarily motivated by selfish bravado.
And how they were eventually caught.
Dude, what do they do?
Owen Flowers and Talha Joubert have been described as computer-obsessed loners. Both known to...
Dude, this is great, man. Wow, that could be describing most of chat, couldn't it? Hey? That's most of you guys. That's most fucking you guys. Oh, shit, yeah. I'll ping Discord. I forgot. Totally forgot.
Spend hours playing video games in their bedrooms. But it was also from those rooms that the two teenagers carried out highly sophisticated cyber attacks. They hacked into the systems of two major American healthcare providers and made millions of pounds in stolen and ransomed cryptocurrency. The pair were part of the notorious Scattered Spider, an international network of young English-speaking hackers linked to recent cyber attacks on Marks & Spencer and Jaguar Land Rover.
So Scattered Spider is broadly considered a loose online criminal collective. So we can't define it as much as we would a normal organised crime group, and in part that's because of the anonymity that these people hide behind. We see them coming and going, interconnecting with each other, but ultimately with a common goal of cybercriminality, disruption, harm, and sometimes economic reward as well.
I'm streaming for about 3 hours or so now, and then I've got to go out for a bit, and then I'll be doing another stream when I'm back. So you actually think about it, you get 2 streams today. So actually that's a positive if you think about it, isn't it? Hey, isn't that positive?
August 2024, Joubert and Flowers tricked a phone help desk worker into resetting the password of a TfL worker they were impersonating. That's when they gained access to the Transport Network's online systems and with it, the data of as many as 10 million
crazy,
TfL
man.
customers.
They had the means and the potential to bring London to a halt. And when you think about the severity of that, not just in terms of our daily lives, but the subsequent economic impact and then the potential wider risk to things like health and well-being, I mean, it could have been truly a catastrophic incident.
The company then had to log out all staff and disconnect their systems,
more
which
Cyberpunk
disrupted
later.
services like Dial-A-Ride, which is used by vulnerable and disabled passengers. The prosecution
Always got to get the disabled in, haven't they? Always got to get the bloody disabled in. Oh, the disabled. We're disabled.
told court the hackers held the keys to the kingdom and could have caused severe disruption across the network if they hadn't been stopped. Transport for London estimates the hack cost them around £29 million.
Figures of up to £56 billion of potential damage have been mooted by the prosecution in the event that you'd gone on effectively to close the transport network. But this is a highly speculative exercise.
So, how were they caught? Well, believe it or not, by a takeaway. Joubert ordered food online using delivery gift vouchers that he bought with a cryptocurrency wallet. That wallet was on the same server that he and other hackers had used to store millions of pounds of cryptocurrency.
No way, dude. I bet it was the fat lad. I bet it was the fucking fat lad, wasn't it? I bet the fat lad thought, oh, I'm going to get myself a little takeaway. Oh, I'm a big fat lad. Oh, I'm going to have a takeaway. And then they got caught because of it, to the fucking connection.
To ransom had paid them. That trail led officers to the East London flat where Joubert lived with his parents.
Oh no, it wasn't!
When the National Crime Agency seized Owen Flower's laptop at his home in Walsall, they found Tallah Joubert had live-streamed the TfL hack.
By the way, if you missed it, he's 17 years old. That lad is only 17. He's managed to bloat up to that tremendous size at just 17.
While the pair were carrying it out, the video of that broadcast was found on Flower's computer. Flowers sat in the dock wearing a blue sweatshirt. Joubert was wearing a suit. The judge said the pair were motivated by selfish bravado and sentenced both to 5.5 years in prison in what authorities have called the largest criminal prosecution of cyber offenders in UK history.
Oh shit, I forgot to forget the
Ultimately, there's a sad reality there that two young boys that have got talent and potentially a brighter future have ended up going down such a serious criminal pathway. Trying to identify an online offender.
A fat 17-year-old and a packy hacked Transport for London and cost them £10 million. That's what happened.
And it's hard. You know, it's not as straightforward perhaps as picking up blood from a burglary, which is what you might see in the physical world. But I think what this does demonstrate in the online world is that law enforcement can identify you, we will pursue you, and ultimately will bring you to justice.
During the attack, Flowers messaged Joubert joking, "You won't be laughing when you're sat in prison." And that's where the pair will spend the next few years of their lives. Here's what the judge had to say in full when Owen Flowers and Tallah Joubert were sentenced.
On 22nd June this year, on what was to be the first day of your trial...
Stop saying he's a Gideon build. He's only 17 years old. 17 years old. And you're talking about him getting, whatted.
You both pleaded guilty to the offence of conspiracy to
Pedos,
commit
a lot of you.
unauthorised acts in relation to a computer, causing or creating risk of serious damage. The base offence is that under Section 3ZA of the Computer Misuse Act 1990. You, Flowers, also pleaded guilty to 2 offences of conspiracy to commit unauthorised acts in relation to a computer, with intent to impair under Section 3 of the Computer Misuse Act 1990. In broad outline, the circumstances are these.
Okay, anyway, I get the gist. Don't need to listen to all this. I get the gist. Okay, guys, let's do a bit of American news. Let's do some key jangling for the Yankoids. There is actually some interesting American news happening right now. First of all, let's take a look at this.
Let me take you to Washington because a US military insider has told Sky News Donald Trump's repeated denials that the US was responsible for the bombing of a primary school in Iran are undermining the official investigation. He was speaking to Sky News as part of a major investigation in...
Wow, Trump being a totally corrupt piece of shit. What a shocker, bro.
To the attack on the first day of the Iran war that left 156 people, including 120 school children, dead. Our US correspondent Mark Stone is in Washington, where he's just got reaction to our investigation from the White House.
Mark Stone from Sky News. Can I switch to Iran, please?
Sure.
And specifically, the Manab school attack. 120 children dead, 26 of their teachers. A Sky News investigation released today points to all this being a tragic mistake by America, by the US military. So could you explain, please, why the president is repeatedly saying it wasn't America, when he hasn't actually, he says also that he hasn't even seen the report?
I can't speak to
Dude, you gotta love him, haven't you? You gotta love him, bro. You gotta love him. I haven't read the report, but it's nothing to do with us. Fuck you. That's Trump's position.
Sky News investigation respectfully because I have not read it. All I can speak to is what the president has said as I speak on his behalf, and the investigation continues, and we would defer you to the Department of War for further questions on it.
Do you mind following up, if I may?
Well, I think the thing with the Iran thing is because Israel are involved, right? And there's a lot more discontent about Israel. I think there is more kind of commentary negative about it, right? I think it is only the, hardcore Trump throaters. They're the only ones that are left that are defending this. There's a lot of people that don't agree with the Iran attack. And then off of that, I think that people are more willing to be critical of this, scrutinize this, and, because it ties into kind of this kind of Israel angle, the Israeli bloodshed, the Israelis' desire to just slaughter the fuck out of brown people. But if it was America on its own without Israel, I mean, I could easily imagine there would be people who would just be like, yeah, fucking America, go, go, go. Iraq and shit like that. Even though Israel really, if we're honest, orchestrated all of that, didn't they? 9/11. They made 9/11 happen.
Sure.
I just want to
My answer's
understand.
not going to change.
I just want to understand why he consistently says it wasn't us, we didn't do this, when all the evidence and indeed the preliminary report, and we've spoken to a military insider who says this was human error.
Well, that's the president's opinion, and at the very same time, he has said the Department of War is investigating the matter, and we would defer you to them for any questions with respect to the investigation, which obviously has not been released yet. I would defer you to them for further questions on it. But I think the president feels that way because he knows that our military always acts in good faith and absolutely never targets civilians or children, unlike the other side of this conflict, Iran, who is well known for killing women and children and innocent people in their country for a very long time. So you should focus on that in your reporting.
Bro. Great stuff. Iran bad. Iran bad, though. Iran bad. Iran bad, guys.
Well, our US correspondent Mark Stone joins us now from the White House. So, Mark, what's your reading here? The White House continuing to deflect?
Sweep, 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 sweep.
Yeah, very much so, notwithstanding the fact that, as I mentioned in the question there, we have spoken to numerous different people. We've spoken to military sources within the military. We've spoken to whistleblowers. We've spoken to people who have a deep understanding of what happened with this airstrike that was on day one of the war. And all the evidence points to this being a tragic mistake by the Americans. Not only that, but it is clear, too, from a military source I've spoken to, that they believe that Donald Trump's continued denials, we didn't do this, it might not have been us, that actually is undermining the investigation process because it's making it harder for those subordinates, those underneath Donald Trump, to be able to release the truth of what happened because the commander-in-chief is consistently...
No, this is an old one. This is from a few months ago. But there's now an investigation. And obviously, Trump is a totally corrupt sack of shit. So he's saying things that are negatively influencing the investigation. So he's saying that, it's not America's fault, which is, Very good.
denying
the
it,
school,
and
the
they
school,
can't
yeah,
be
the school,
seen
the school.
to contradict him. That's my reading of what people have been telling us. This is all part of a wider investigation. Dominic Waghorn has been to Minab, that town in southern Iran, near the Strait of Hormuz. He has spoken to the families, the mothers and fathers of those children who died. The interviews are visceral, they are heartbreaking. And they want to know what happened. They want some sense of closure. They want to know why that school was attacked. All the details, all that we have learnt, stuff that the American administration will not tell anyone, is in that film. So you can go and watch it and then make up your own mind. What was also striking is Caroline Levitt said to me, I haven't seen the Sky News investigation. Well, we should make clear
there's a whole thing.
that we sent a right of reply to CENTCOM in Tampa in Florida. That's the part of the military.
Dude, we should watch this. This is great. This is great content. In fact, before we do, let's just do this China thing. Trump's going at the chinks. Trump's having to go at the chinks.
President Trump has accused China of committing election fraud in 2020. The president used an address to the nation last night to say that China wanted him to lose the election despite an assessment from US intelligence that found no evidence of foreign interference. Here's what Trump had to say.
Over a period of...
So I actually saw this on Twitter when I woke up. And from what I understand, there is one operative that said there was like a low chance that they might have done something, but it's like very slim, very limited. But obviously they're pushing it as, yeah, trying to try to influence the election because everything's just bullshit now, essentially.
Years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files.
Democrats started it. Okay, but this is the thing. I feel like I've been my sense of reality and perception has been influenced by online discourse about it. I'm pretty sure the problem with Russiagate is not that there wasn't influence or an attempt from Russia to do things. It's the way the press spoke about it was excessive and, bombastic, rather than being rooted in like a true, like it's American media blowing a story up in a certain way with a certain angle, rather than actually just plainly stating what had happened in a way that, reflected what the intelligence reports were saying.
Information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening.
Well, let's get the latest then from our US correspondent, James Matthews.
It's not the first time we've heard...
Right, what was that?
Which is exactly
Did you
what
see
was
that?
happening.
Well, let's get the latest then from our US correspondent, James Matthews.
Dude!
Sadly, you're raped.
Yo, Cat Weasel! Thank you for the sub. Thank you.
Matthews.
Did you see that? Am I autistic? He's tapping the mouse. He's tapping the fucking mouse. Did you see that shit, dude? He's like tapping the mouse. It's just a bit like, it's a bit weird for like a professional journalist to do that, no? I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you tapping the mouse for, bro? I stim, but then, I'm not on TV, for fuck's sake.
It's not the first time we've heard Donald Trump question his country's election system.
Raped.
He has long argued that...
Hey, oh, yo! Speedy Taco, thank you for the sub. Thank you.
He lost the 2020...
Okay, listen, I do actually want to watch this, but we'll do that tomorrow. I want to get to this Odyssey thing. But I didn't know they'd done a whole investigation about it. That's cool. That's actually quite interesting.
Election because it was rigged, even though that is a claim that has been debunked through the years. As he spoke last night, the White House released newly declassified documents, even if they didn't necessarily back up his claims of election interference. Trump said that China had worked to undermine his first administration and his 2020 campaign. That is a claim that his own intelligence agencies dismissed at the time. He said that China had illegally acquired 220 million voter files, even though that's something that can be accessed publicly. As an address to the nation, it was very much a high-profile assault on the integrity of America's voting system by its president. Trump has an eye on November's midterm elections, and he ended his address last night by urging support for legislation that he wants to introduce, the Save America Act. That would require more stringent checks on voter eligibility. He says it's designed to prevent election fraud. His critics say he wants to restrict his opponent's vote.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basing this purely on two things I saw on Twitter. That's all I saw this morning, bleary-eyed waking up. And it's that there was this report. I don't even know where it is. I didn't bookmark it or anything. But there was this report that, yeah, it's the one guy. What? It's literally one guy. Trump is getting one guide. He's getting one guide. He's getting one guide right now. Yeah, dude, I don't understand. Voter ID. Opposition to voter ID is fucking retarded, dude. It's totally retarded. We've got voter ID over here. You have to show your ID to vote. Nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why there was this massive fucking backlash towards it. It just looks stupid. You look retarded arguing against it. Just have voter ID. Just have voter ID. There's nothing wrong with having voter ID in place. You know, it does have an impact on stopping, you know, it just seems to me like a very obvious policy. I don't understand why was this backlash against it. And I remember, yes, dude, I remember back in the day, there were these debates about it and people were talking about how blacks can't get ID. Dude, blacks can't get IDs, they were saying. Do you remember this? Blacks, they just can't do it. They just can't get IDs. It's impossible. Yeah, Democrats see blacks as retarded monkeys unable to get ID. Exactly. Literal bigotry of low expectation shit. Maybe that's why they never show ID during traffic stops. Oh, dude, I've been enjoying watching the webcams again recently, actually. Getting back into that, you know? So maybe we can watch some blacks get slaughtered soon. No, I can't watch people get shot. It's too much, man. It's too much. It's too much. Okay, let's do this. Let's watch this. Let's find out whether or not there's too many blacks in the Odyssey.
The Odyssey is...
Dude, it's so crazy that like Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic are on Piers Morgan talking about whether or not there's too many blacks.
The Odyssey is this epic fantasy story, but it's fantasy grounded in the real world. It's set within a very specific geographical location and time.
It partakes of a trend that we have seen in recent years to sort of, let's call it, de-heroize Odysseus.
The reason I smirked was because there's a long history in Hollywood of white people playing characters that should be black people. I mean, Charlton Heston as Moses was kind of wild.
We're trying to challenge traditional beliefs. Well, that's something...
As Moses. I mean, Moses is swarthy and olive-skinned, no?
Piers Morgan, if you're watching this, you need to invite somebody like me on this panel, not Mark Lamont Hill. Mark, no disrespect to him, is not familiar with these two motherfuckers. I have millions with an S.
I actually agree with this guy. I think that having fucking this guy on stupid, you need like a culture warrior from the progressive side on. I actually agree. I think that'd be way more interesting to have someone like this who does videos about these guys. I think it would make for a better conversation.
of views on these two guys specifically. I have shown without a doubt that they are among the dumbest people on YouTube and that they do not know what they're talking about. On top of that, they're fucking incredibly dishonest. Mark doesn't know these guys like that. He might know a little bit about them, you know.
Wait, what? This guy harassed a Domino's employee and filmed himself doing that. Seriously? Where?
But I'm intimately familiar with them. So Piers, next time you have these two people on, invite me on the panel so that I can talk to these motherfuckers directly. Because they've been avoiding me, by the way. That's what I want you to know. You need to know that. They've been avoiding me, and I've been cooking these motherfuckers for at least 2 years. Piers.
I thought BURNHAM was bottom right. No, that's that like progressive black Mark Lamont Hill. I actually like Mark Lamont Hill. Some of these progressive commentators I do like. Mark Lamont Hill is you know, I do think he's like got obviously a sort of pro-black agenda, so to speak. But I don't think that he is, you know, I don't think that he's like crazy. I don't think he's crazed. He's more reasonable than some of the other progressive types that you get. From when I've heard him speak.
No, I need to speak to a man.
Bro, what is this, dude? Oh my god, bonus crazy content unlocked. What?
Okay. Bit of drama for you. So long story short, I tried to order a pizza from Domino's. I had some friggin' free points or whatever, and it allowed me to get a free pizza that I tried to order from local.
No, dude, this is my top black. I've heard of the name the Birdman, and I recognize him. I recognize him as doing, you know, woke or progressive commentary on movies, kind of the opposite end of the spectrum to Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. And I just think it would be good to have him on the show because it would be a more interesting conversation. But he's not my guy. I mean, he sounds like a fucking nutter, bro. He sounds like a fucking nutter going to Domino's to complain.
Store, and basically they didn't want to give me a free pizza, and yeah, you know, you'll see in the rest of this video here. Word of warning, I'm a little bit irate. I'm normally much more cool and calm and collected, but I've had it up to here with this guy, because this guy that I'm speaking to is flat out lying to me. I do apologize for the very, very poor audio. It was very windy, and I've tried my—
Bro, what? I've always, I mean, maybe it's because I used to work in retail, right? But I have always operated from this premise that, like, what service workers, retail workers, it's a thankless task, it's a shit job. And unless they're like being particularly egregious, it's generally not their fault that something is going wrong. There's generally some sort of bureaucratic issue that they don't have much control over. Okay? So I just don't really care about, I'm not like, oh my god, you're fucking this up. It's like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's like, it's not worth getting mad about. It's like such a trivial affair that it's just not worth getting annoyed about, you know? But, dude, what is this from Scribbin, man?
Chud Seal clapping a black man repeating the talking points he likes right up until they channel the warrior spirit on some waggy slob.
Dude, that is a banger, man. Thank you for the kicks. Thank you, dude. The warrior spirit. But no, dude, it's not on, dude. It's, I think, like, fucking hell, leave the wages alone. What have the wages done wrong? And he's probably like earning a decent living off of YouTube as well. And then he's going and putting some like unnecessary pressure on some wages. It's like, give it a fucking rest, dude. You know? Oh yeah, I saw this as well. The still of Helen of Troy from the Odyssey looks like something from one of those police cam videos. Oh. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh no. Also, Domino's sucks too. Domino's fucking sucks, man. You know, if you get a pizza, you should get it from a local Italian chain, you know, or something like that, or like a local, or even like a national one, but like a, one that's got like the Italian style. That's much better than the slop you get at fucking Domino's and shit like that. But anyway, nonetheless, let's see this guy crash out a Domino's employee.
My best to clean up some of this audio. But Domino's, you gonna take responsibility for this or what? Like, because this is ridiculous.
I try to get the damn pizza, and the driver shows up, and they call a number, and the number that's on the account for this one is the wrong number. So they return back to their store, which I totally understand. That kind of thing happens. I call in because my pizza hasn't arrived from my perspective for almost an hour. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? They said, oh, well, we tried to call a number. And I was like, oh, okay, let me look at the order. And I look at the order, and the phone number on the order is wrong. Okay. The phone number is incorrect. So I'm like, all right, cool. Here's my phone number.
Yeah, all this, and it's not even $15 worth of an order. Well, I guess the pizza. Well, I mean, the pizza would probably be $10, $15, right? Oh, dude, I just... Yeah, also, that's true as well, yeah. What, dude, this guy's some sort of progressive, and he's going and fucking hassling some wagey. Fucking hell, man. Well, let's see. Maybe Domino's are totally out of order here.
The guy, the person I speak to, and let me show you, I have the phone record right here. He told me, get this, that he called the number, someone with my exact name answered the phone, someone with my exact name answered the phone, and then told them that it was a mistake, that I didn't order a pizza. And then they just canceled my order. That's what he told me on the phone when we were talking for this 5 minutes. So I says, that sounds like BS. It sounds like you guys just didn't want to deliver a free pizza to me because I had the points, and you don't want to deliver a free pizza.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense, though. I don't understand that whatsoever. That sounds fucking... Why would they not want to deliver a free pizza? I don't understand what's gone wrong here. I really am confused, but I just, they do, that's part of the fucking thing, isn't it?
I mean, I could get that. Like, it would be cool if you were honest about it. But he says, no, I have no reason to lie. I spoke to somebody with your exact name.
Yeah, the thing is, because that's the point schemes, because these Domino stores, I think, are franchised. The point schemes are probably some sort of centralized thing, and there's probably some sort of remuneration that happens from corporate to the franchise store if someone orders a free pizza, Oh, they don't want to deliver the free pizza because people don't tip. And he saw, oh, okay, so maybe it's the driver that's at fault here. Is that right?
And they told me that I didn't order a pizza. Are you fucking joking? So I'm like, all right, look, dude, please go ahead and just remake my order and send it to me again. He says, okay. I get a phone call from this.
Right, can we just say as well? Oh, he's doxed himself here. Can we just say something else as well? Okay, can we say something else too? Putting this on your YouTube channel is fucking mental. It's absolutely mental to put this on your fucking YouTube channel where you talk about woke shit in movies and you decide to put your fucking beef with the local Domino's pizza on there.
Fucking number, and for 6 minutes we're on the phone. He calls me and says, we have to cancel your order. And I'm like, okay.
Yes, exactly, scrimping. I mean, dude, this is the other thing too. How much fucking time and hassle are you going to filming this, going down to the Domino's, so on and so forth? If it's that much of a fucking problem, I had a problem with the Samsung delivery thing. I got a bunch of Samsung shit appliances delivered, and I had a problem with it. So I just contacted them. It was a bit annoying, to be fair, because They only refunded £30 at first when I paid £90 for delivery, but then they gave me like a £60 voucher, and it was like, okay, fine. And it took like in total about 15 minutes to sort out. You know, I wasn't going down like the local fucking Samsung store. Like, hey, where's my fucking... Just fucking message the central point and they'll sort it out for you. Dude, they just chuck money at you, bro. They just chuck money at you to sort... If you'd have contacted the corporate thing and complained, they'd have probably given you like a fucking $30 voucher or something like that. So it's just so mental that you would, over a fucking... What would be at most, even if you paid for the pizza, a $30 order. Now, if you have not got much money, I could understand that being maybe more of an issue. But if you're like a YouTuber who's probably making a decent living off of YouTube, but what is it? It's fucking $30, bro. Like, who cares, man? Who fucking cares? And then you go and hassling some service worker, probably, presumably.
Why?
Fuck me, dude.
No reason. We just have to cancel your order like that. And I'm like, but I just spoke to you on the phone. The guy with the exact same voice told me you didn't speak to me. You spoke to someone else. So, Domino's, I'm fucking here right now.
Oh my god, dude. Who is this guy? I guess it's not coming home, chap. Yes, I know. Fuck you.
No, I need to speak to a manager. What's up? Are you going to get your manager?
Yes.
You're the manager?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, he's literally lit black Karen behavior. Oh my god, dude. Can I speak to the manager? Fuck off, dude. Literal Karen.
Did I talk to you on the phone?
No, somebody told me that you spoke to them on the phone. I guess.
Who else is here? Who else answers the phone here?
Everyone answers the phone. Just
No,
what's your question?
I spoke to you on the phone.
No, you spoke to me once when I called you regarding the cancel order.
Why would you cancel my order?
Because we tried to deliver your order once, and then we called the number that you provided on the online order. And somebody answered that phone number, and then they said that in order, so we brought back the order.
Dude, I love the fact that he's got all the details in, like this is fucking worthy of anyone's time. And then he's putting his face on blast as well. Dude, this is fucked, man. This is actually fucked up from this guy. Holy shit, dude. What a bitch this guy is.
And then we called back to the store, and I guess
You see, this is called Jewelsing, my dude.
Okay.
You're making shit up here.
No,
Stop. Let me talk.
Sure.
Okay? Because when I called, I spoke to someone.
Yeah.
They had my real number at that time. Then you just said somebody tried to call me again, and they got the wrong number again.
Yeah.
But then you called my correct number to tell me my order was canceled. How was that even possible?
Okay, let me explain to you. The thing was that when you placed the order online, it was a different number, and then when you
I explained that when I called in.
And then when you call it in, the caller ID showed up another number, and then that was...
Right, so what it sounds like is there's some sort of issue with the number. So he's put in a number incorrectly. Like, I've had a similar thing happen where I've put down a delivery... I mean, that happened with the Amazon thing the other day. But also it's happened where I've put down the wrong address incorrectly, or it's auto-loaded the wrong address. And then you call the branch. And the reality is, when it's in the system with this kind of local takeaway thing, it just fucks everything up if, like, the address or number's wrong. But it sounds like he messed up from this, actually. He had the wrong number in the system, and now he's mad at them because there's been some sort of issue or complication.
address. So the number that you put online with the number that you called from were completely different. And we were calling the number that you placed the order.
No. See, when I called to correct that, I told them that I had to...
Oh my god, dude! So he was in the wrong in the first instance. He's put the wrong number in. It's caused this fuck up. And now he's mad at them, even though he made the mistake initially. I get that he tried to call in, but dude, once it's in the system, it's you know, it's fucked. It's fucked, man. You fucked it.
This is my number. He told me he spoke to someone with my exact name, which is a bullshit, bold-faced lie. Who did I speak to on the phone?
Yeah,
who did I speak to?
I don't know. He already left.
He already left?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
No, he already left because I came in at 1, and then that's when he told me what happened, and I was like, okay,
That's fine.
So your guys' shifts end at 1 o'clock is what you're
Oh,
saying.
thanks for the sub Snake. I work at the KFC near Chud, and he's done this to us. What? No, don't dox me.
Yeah, for him specifically, this day, yes.
So from what time you guys open?
We open at 9.
You open at 9 and someone leaves at 1.
Correct.
That's what you're telling me.
Sometimes.
What
Yes.
is your
Not
name?
every day. My name is Art.
Your name is Art?
Art. ART. Yes.
And you're the manager here.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I just want to let you know, this is going up on Twitter. I'm posting all of this on Twitter. You're gonna get in trouble.
Dude, this is one of the most obnoxious things that these people do. Is, I'm going to put this on Twitter. I'm going to put this on Twitter. Leveraging this account that you've built off the back of whatever shit to put pressure on a business to... It's so fucked, man. It's so fucked, dude. All this time and effort as well, man. Holy shit, the hassle is out of
You're
control.
lying to me right now. That's what you're
Are you
doing.
going to post also the verbal abuse that we're doing on the phone as well?
I have not abused anyone.
Okay. I will listen to the phone.
So hold on.
No,
How would you even know? How would you even know there was verbal abuse
I'm not sure.
if I spoke to you?
No,
If I
you
never
just-
spoke to you?
Because he told me. And I'm not sure what was
So you're
exactly
lying
what
to me
said,
right
so
now.
I told him.
Nobody has abused anyone.
Okay,
The
so
only
I-
thing I've ever said was, it sounds like BS. Those are my exact words.
Yeah, okay. Then maybe he told me a different story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and listen to the phone call and I'm going to listen to that person and then we'll figure a situation how to better things from there. I'm not saying you're BSing. I'm not saying I'm BSing. I'm not saying he's BSing. What we were just trying to do was try to deliver that order with the phone number that was provided on the app.
My dude, if he told you everything that was going on, he would have told you I called in with the correct number. There would have been no reason for you to have your driver call in the wrong number.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's getting angry. He's getting angry with his pizza. Uh-oh.
So what are you even talking about? Why are you lying to me? That's all I'm asking.
So yeah, we're just gonna, if you like to, we already canceled the order. The food is gonna go back to, the frequency is gonna go back to your account.
Where's the food?
The food, it's already tossed it away. We didn't keep it.
You tossed it.
By the way,
Okay,
I'm not
because
giving
on the
you a
phone,
conversation to record me or anything.
I don't care what you're telling me right now. When I called you, you told me that the food would be here cold.
No, that's not me.
What did you say this?
You spoke to me once.
I spoke to who?
You spoke to me once, not twice.
It's at this point you realise the recording interaction is the meaning completely shifts because the timid, apologetic, and antsy. It's obviously was the guy I was speaking to on the phone both times. Bro, he's been apologetic this whole time. There's literally nothing wrong with how he's handling this. He's being polite and trying to handle the situation.
At this point, can you please stop recording?
No, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna fucking happen. What you're gonna do is you're gonna stop lying. You're gonna
Bro, the aggression is fucking mental, bro. There's some fucking Domino's guy. Dude, this is crazy.
What's going on here? And you said that you're the manager, Hart, at Garden Grove.
I'm not gonna speak more because I'm gonna pick up the
Cool, whatever. I got the whole thing. Because you're sitting here bullshitting me. This is the dude that's bullshitting.
That's fine.
Yeah, go ahead, run away. Go ahead. Like, you scared? Like, what are you scared of? If you're not.
Bro, it's literally he's fucking hassling this guy, bro. He's been more than nice about this. And he's getting angry with him. Oh my god, dude. This is bleak, dude. Holy shit. He's probably worried about his job. He's probably thinking, fuck, I'm going to get in shit for this. This is going to be a right ball ache.
Not wrong, then why are you running?
I'm trying to give an explanation, and if you would let me
I heard your explanation, and it's BS.
If you would let me finish, I would be gladly be able to give you a pizza and go from there, but you're not letting me.
My dude.
Yeah, dude, exactly. If you just went in and were like, oh man, this has all got messed up, hasn't it? You know, I'm sorry about the number thing. He'd probably just fucking cook you a free pizza and you could go. That would be the end of it. You know what I mean? He'd probably be like, listen, we'll get the points refunded and as a goodwill gesture, we'll give you your pizza. But he's coming with this energy and this aggression. Because a pizza, dude, the cost of a pizza is negligible to keep a customer happy. Oh my God, dude.
I just asked you for a pizza. You said you had to cancel my order. The pizza was here. You threw it away.
I'm not gonna give you.
So what? Let me explain what I think that you did. Let me explain.
Dude, the pizza would be cold, bro. It's been like probably an hour or something. The pizza's cold. Oh my God, dude.
Explain what I think that you did. I think you didn't want to make it. You didn't want to deliver a free pizza. That's what I think.
No, absolutely not. We do that all the time. I mean, for whatever reason.
How?
Oh, and now he's got his little conspiracy. Oh, you just don't want to deliver a free pizza when it's a trivial affair for them. You know, it's just it's a fundamental misunderstanding of how these franchises work. I don't know if there is some sort of measure that the corporate has for these sort of free deliveries and they reimburse the store or something like that because it's a marketing thing. But it obviously is a means with which to solicit business because you know, it's a marketing thing. These stores have got no problem doing it because they know that it's a benefit. Maybe the point of a delivery driver, you know, not wanting to deliver because they're worried about getting a tip, possibly. But I find that hard to believe with like a corporate chain, that would be the case. And I think what's more likely is this number fuck up is what's caused all these problems. And obviously he's tried to resolve it. It's not resolved it. That happens in these situations. God, what a fucking loser, man.
How is it that you sent the driver to my house twice and they canceled it the second time? Why was it canceled?
Because we were trying to call the number that you provided online, and the number was going to a different person.
Okay, and then you called me, right? You called me.
Yes, because I saw the caller ID number, which that other person did not figure out correctly. At that point, that's when I tried to take over.
So answer this question. If you called me on the correct number, why would the order be canceled? Why not just call that number and say, hey, my driver's downstairs, come pick up the pizza? That makes all the sense, does it not?
Yeah, it does make sense.
So how did that not happen? How are you a manager and you don't think that way?
All right, well, at this point, we can go ahead and remake your pizza. It'll be completely free. You're not going to have to pay for anything. You're still getting your free pizza back, and we can go from there. And I'll apologize.
Wait, dude, it's exactly what? Yes. He's saying, we'll give you a free pizza, you keep your points, and we call it square.
A manager and you don't think that way.
All right, well, at this point, we can go ahead and remake your pizza. It'll be completely free. You're not going to have to pay for anything. You're still getting your free pizza back, and we can go from there. And I apologize for any misinformation that happened with the driver, the person that was here in the morning, and me.
Right. So at that point, oh my God, dude. Bro, what a piece of shit this guy is. Can't even enjoy the Laker game because Pizza Hut decided to use a DoorDash driver who not only arrived an hour after order, the pizza was ice cold. He couldn't find the address, so I had to go find him and he lied and stole my wings. Thanks, Pizza Hut. Dude, there is a special place in hell reserved for influencers that use their account to whine about these things. Oh, God, it is so obnoxious, man.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't want anything from your store because of what you guys put me. I had to drive fucking down here.
I'm sorry.
Dude. Doesn't even accept the reasonable resolution of, we will make you a free pizza and you can keep your points so you get a free pizza later too. Oh my God, dude.
This nonsense.
By the way, stuff like this is why people hate influencers. It's stuff like this that contributes to it because people just think, what an obnoxious prick. And, you know, if I had some problem, I wouldn't be able to do this. I'd have to try and contend with it using normal means.
Sorry.
When you were very short with me on the phone, by the way.
I'll be honest with you. If I was in your shoes, yeah, I'll be pissed too. I'm gonna be honest.
Listen to me. When I called you, I'm sorry, when you called me, you were extremely short with me. I couldn't even get a word in. Never gonna cancel the order like that. I was like, hold on, why? No, we're just gonna cancel the order. You wouldn't even give me an explanation over the phone.
Dude, the reality is, it was probably the middle of service or something, or there's probably a lunch. This must be like lunchtime rush, and then it's kind of quieting down. It's probably because he was fucking busy, bro. And you were trying to fucking hassle him.
Expect me to come down here. Right, that's right. Am I right or wrong?
Well, I mean, you said it was fine, and that was the end of it.
And I can't believe you just tried to back out and say I was abusive over the phone. Excuse me, I couldn't even get a word in.
Dude, and it's like, dude, this mentality of wanting to win a fight with a Domino's worker is such a lowbrow mentality, man. He wants to win this battle. It's like, dude, just go or whatever. Take the pizza, don't take the pizza. Just fucking go and do something productive with your time rather than sit here and argue with a fucking Domino's worker.
No, I'm not saying towards me. I'm saying what the other person told me. I again, I am not confirming that we got to listen to the phone calls. Doesn't mean we'll do any deal. That means that we will try to listen to that phone call and try to train on how to handle the situations better.
Okay.
Customers then get better customers.
And what you said your name is Art?
Yes, Art.
And you're the manager at this location here in Garden Grove? You are?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Right. I just want that for the record.
Still making a pizza?
No, I don't want a pizza from you, dude. I don't want anything from you guys anymore. Okay. After how unfucking professional you guys have been, how ridiculous. I don't care, dude. I don't care. I just wanted to let you know that
I respect what you're saying. Then again, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make a free pizza, and I mean that's all I can really do for you. I mean, I can remake a free pizza. Your free pizza is gonna go back to your account for free, plus this free pizza.
All right, whatever, dude. Whatever.
Again,
bro. And he put that online thinking he looks good. He put that online thinking it looks good. Yeah, do you know who I am? I make YouTube videos about movies. I'm the critical drinker's nemesis.
I was very irate. I was kind of stumbling over my words. I couldn't really get out exactly what I wanted to say.
Irate.
You know, he was being very defensive, and it was
getting irate about a Domino's order. Let's just call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is, okay? It's fucking ghetto behavior. It's ghetto behavior. Getting irate about a Domino's order, man. Who fucking cares, dude? Who fucking cares, bro?
obvious that he was the guy that I spoke to. It was extremely obvious. He has the same exact voice, the same cadence to his voice. I'm a voice actor. I know voices, so I know who I was speaking to. I did record a phone call of myself calling the number. Now, the old number was, the number that they called is my old phone number. It's my old phone number. I don't have it anymore. I have a new phone. And so I called that old phone number, and this is what happened.
Hello? Hi, good afternoon.
Bro, and then he's calling this other number. Dude, then he's calling this other guy, getting him involved in his stupid crusade against Domino's.
This is a very weird thing that I'm calling you about, sir. My name is Anthony. Is your name Anthony, sir?
No.
Okay. Did you receive a phone call from a Domino's Pizza?
No.
You did not?
No.
Okay. The reason I'm calling you is because this phone number is my old phone number, the one that you have currently. And they said that they called this number and spoke to you and that you have my exact name. I know this sounds ridiculous, but this is exactly what they told me. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
What the hell are they talking about?
Exactly.
I live in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and my name is David.
Doxed.
Okay.
Doxed.
Thank you so much for clearing that up.
You're welcome. Hey, good luck with your end, man. Just as long as they don't bring you like 96 pizzas, or me.
No worries, man. Thank you so much, David.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good one.
Bro, what a pathetic thing to do. How much time did this all take, by the way? That's what's so crazy for me about this, right? Because this guy is fucking hucking and jiving over a fucking Domino's pizza for all this time, when he could have done a ton of other things that would have been way better, productive, relaxing, whatever it is. Whatever it fucking is.
So Domino's, what the hell? Look, I understand that it was raining and maybe they only had one driver and the driver probably didn't want to come to my location or whatnot, or maybe they didn't even want to, you know, honor the free pizza. And look, it's not about the free pizza. I have a lot of money. I could buy a fucking pizza if I wanted to. The point is that I was treated very poorly by that guy that you saw in the video over the phone. So, yes, I'm a human being. I got upset myself and I drove down there and confronted him.
Bro, dude. Oh my god, bro. This is pathetic. God, this guy is like a fucking lolcow, isn't he? He posted his IQ. Oh my god, dude. Actually,
at the end of the day, I feel like I was the one in the right. Okay, they screwed me over twice. They lied about it. You have video evidence that David never received that phone call. So, I mean, come on. Like, you heard him say they called a guy. You heard that. they're BSing me. So I just kind of needed to make this video because I felt like venting. I was very, very upset about it, but you know, I'm kind of cool now. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Maybe some of my viewers can laugh at this video, whatnot, but it would be nice if, you know, Domino's could, I don't know, make this right somehow. Either talk to your guys there or, I don't know. I don't want any more pizza from that location, though, because they might spit in it or something. Like, you know what I mean? I'm good. I've seen.
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, man. Dude, these people are so stupid, dude. They're not going to spit in your food, you moron. Why would they risk their fucking...
Sadly, you're
right. God, dude.
Chud, you are a pathetic wretch. Sweeping for Domino's, lying to a paying black man. Meanwhile, you was Malden over ethnic who dropped your latte. Queer.
Thank you. Thank you for the kicks. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't mold at him, right? I mean, I didn't even have a chance to mold, to be honest with you, because he kind of just gave me the coffee. And as I was looking at it, thinking, what the fuck? He's fucking on his bike and he's off, isn't he? Petey's got a good point. Dude, I got bought a coffee and it was literally spilled and the bag was wet and he just handed it over to me. And it was undoubtedly his fault. But I didn't even mold at him. I didn't get mad at him. Nowhere close to this. I was like, what? I was just a bit like bemused. And then by the time he gone, I realised what had happened. And then I just contacted the company and got a refund. Dropped my soy drink. Yes, I was crying on stream about it. But what I didn't do is go and fucking chase him down the street with a camera and go, oh, blah, 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 blah. Hey, what the fuck? It was an off-the-cuff complaint because I was streaming. This guy made a whole fucking video about it and went to the Domino's, bro. Dude, the equivalent would be me going down to the Starbucks and going, excuse me, can I speak to the manager, please? Yes, and do you know why I didn't do that? Do you know why I didn't fucking do that? Because it was a waste of fucking time. It was a waste of time, dude. It's a waste of time. Anyway, there we go. Very funny. Very funny video. So anyway, in any case, that was a side tangent. I actually agree with him. I do think that it would be better for him to be on this show because he does know these guys better than Mark Lamont, the Mark Lamont guy does. So I don't even hate the idea of him being on the show. I think it's probably a good idea.
Christopher Nolan doesn't usually do. This is a game he doesn't usually play.
To make this national epic, which the Greek people feel is a continuous tradition.
Oh, I tell you another thing that's going on as well, isn't it? Right? The anti-wokes probably feel betrayed because they love The Dark Knight and stuff and love all the Batman movies. And now he's gone and done this. And they're like, no, you're supposed to be our based king and you put a bunch of blacks in a movie. No.
From the 7th, 8th century and not have a single Greek is kind of jarring when you go out of your way to get other people who would cause controversy and sometimes in a subversive manner.
Is it better for your business model if this is a massive turkey or a massive hit? With the notable exception of Top Gun Maverick, there's no longer such a thing as an epic blockbuster with no strings attached. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, based on Homer's sprawling poem, is one of the biggest and most anticipated movies of the year. It's therefore no surprise that its release this week has been marred by furious debate about its historical accuracy, its colourblind casting, and its reputedly feminist undertones. Critics say it's Snow White on steroids, a beloved classic shattered by the woke wrecking ball of demonic Hollywood. This time they argue it's gone too far. The victims of the alleged woke washing are not merely fictional dwarf helpers, but the characters of a foundational text in the grand sweep of Western civilization. But are they missing the point? Isn't Hollywood's role to reflect the changing world around us and not simply parrot the legends of ancient history? We have not one but two epic panels to debate this, beginning with the classics. Well, Daniel Mendelsohn is a scholar, critic and best-selling author of An Odyssey, a father, a son and an epic. His translation of Homer's poem was published this spring in paperback. Aon Wilson is a novelist, biographer and journalist, also the father of Emily Wilson, whose feminist translation of The Odyssey is said to be the basis of Christopher Nolan's new movie. But first, let's talk to the historian and senior fellow at the Hoover Institute, Victor Davis Hanson. Victor, great to see you. Great to have you back on Uncensored.
Thank you.
What's your beef with The Odyssey?
It's kind of a minor one. I think that I thought because that is considered the national epic of the Greek people, it might have been magnanimous of Christopher Lloyd to include someone in the tradition of Irene Pappas or Melina Mercouri, a Greek American actor. But the whole idea of cultural appropriation is very controversial. I have no problem with a character in a playing a role that the original author did not really envision, as long as it's symmetrical. And by that I mean,
Wait until they find out 300 is not historically accurate. Yeah, exactly. The Spartans weren't diddling little boys as they did back in the day. They even make a joke about the Greeks being boy lovers or whatever, the Athenians or whatever. And it's like, so were you. You were fucking raping kids too. Pederasty was just a thing back then. You know? But yes, obviously bullshit.
if you want to wear dreadlocks and you're white, that's fine. If you want to wear a blonde wig and you're black, that's fine. Just so it's reciprocal. The only problem is when the character is so far off from what the author intended that it affects the narrative. So I don't think it would be wise to make a movie with a white Martin Luther King bio or a black Abraham Lincoln. It'd be too jarring. But I have no problem that he's using an African American character for Helen and Clytemnestra, or they're two characters. They were mythologically sisters, so there's no problem there. Zorba the Greek was played by a Mexican-American actor, Anthony Quinn. He did a brilliant job. It's only when it's so jarring that it's deliberately interrupts the narrative in a way that it's almost impossible to follow if it's a character deviation, or, you know, if somebody has one arm and the character has two arms. But the Greeks were very tolerant of, and I don't really think that...
I might have to skip some of this, man. I don't really care about what some old fuddy-duddy fucker's got to say about it. We might have to skip to when the racists join. Okay, what is this?
Do you think that Israel is affecting American political judgment?
I mean...
Do you...
Interesting. Can't just say absolutely not. No, what an absurd, preposterous thing. Well, I tell you what it is. He's having to balance, obviously, placating Israel with this kind of ever-increasing negative energy that exists towards Israel, isn't he? He's trying to do the sort of, oh, well, you know, we can't be too pro-Israel, but we can't be too anti-Israel. He's trying to ride that line.
They had a notion of racial distinctions like we do. The Ethiopians are described by Homer elsewhere as the most noble of all people. So it's not, I don't think it's going to I don't think it'll affect the reception of that character, and whether Helen and Clytemnestra are well acted, or whether they enhance or detract from the narrative or the film adaptation of it, will depend on the quality of the performance.
Yeah, and look, I agree with that. I think that what has caught most attention, and I think you have a view about this, is that Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Helen of Troy, she gave a recent press interview in which she seemed to criticize Homer for the lack of time he gave to women in his original work, instead choosing to tell the story from the masculine side, as she put it. Let's take a look.
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women, considering how little you spend with them?
Dude, dude, what is going on with her makeup, man? Why is she, what, dude? Why has she got the big red lips? Why has she done that, man? That seems like a bad idea, doesn't it? God, this is obviously stupid as well. This kind of, why weren't you thinking about the women thousands of years ago? Why weren't you thinking about that? Stupid, man.
Whoa. Okay.
And then do you lean forward and look at him like that?
Yes, like, remember us?
Now, at the premiere of the movie, Samantha Morton, who plays the Greek goddess and sorceress Circe, took the opportunity to reinforce the idea that this was a feminist reimagining of the mythical story. Let's take a look at that.
In history, women have been vilified, whether you're a midwife, whether you're, a herbalist, whether you're a healer, whether you're just in tune with the moon. Like, women have just been vilified throughout history, and I think that was my take on it. But also, Chris's interpretation of the original text and then kind of condensing it into this essential oil of Circe was phenomenal. And that I just worked from the text. It was all there for me.
So basically, I think the modern vernacular would be Homer was a bit of a sexist pig. He made it all about men. And this film redresses the balance to make it actually more equal in terms of gender presence.
I'm not sure that's accurate.
That's my vernacular version.
Yeah, Lupita, she admitted that she had never read the Odyssey as an undergraduate or graduate. I don't know how you can do that in today's education at Hampshire and Yale, but so if she had read it, I think and had thought about it for a long time, it's one of the most pro-feminist works of Greek literature, and it's really the seminal work because
I gotta
Homer
say,
is
man, it is very tiresome that it's all this fucking stupid discourse about it. I know that, there's a lot of focus on the rightoids who complain about there being too many blacks. But also it's this progressive insistence on there being some sort of message in it and stuff. And it's just like, oh my God, dude. Oh, can't I just watch a movie? Can't I just watch a movie? Can't we just watch a movie? Can we not have to, every time have to do this stupid fucking discourse about it? It's so fucking obnoxious, man.
Contiguous with the rise of the Greek city-state. And if you look, there's every aspect of womanhood in that play. There's the loyal, crafty, brilliant Penelope who saves the kingdom while Odysseus is gallivanting around or is enduring.
Yes, Segfault. I like this take. It's just another blockbuster Jew slop. Why are people surprised about this?
All of these perils. She outwits these men. You've got Circe, who's sort of reifies the idea that men can be pigs by actually turning them into pigs. She's all powerful. You have Athena, kind of the Parthenos, the virgin goddess, but she's also the goddess of wisdom. She's the most stable of all the Greek gods, and in some cases the most powerful. She's the person who allows Odysseus to get home. You've got Calypso, who kind of has created her own area where she defines her own sexuality. Then you've got, you've got Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world.
This is what all these women are like when they talk about how women were treated like witches.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard things. The sound is shit and some said it was boring. Nolan has made Mahler's favorite movie and the poor guy was afraid of seeing it and just be bored by it. There is also no Achilles, only a transman.
Okay, thank you for the tip, thank you.
WTF
Thank you
is
for the
this coffin
kicks.
Roger on? The message was really clear-cut when ancient Greece descended into generational war over Helen cucking her husband.
Thank you, Scribby, for the kicks. Thank you. I'm actually not familiar with all these epics and stuff. Really. Clash of the Titans. I watched the original when I was the 1980s version or whatever it was when I was a kid. Was it 80s or was it earlier than that? I can't remember. Classic movie. Classic movie. How about this? Movie about the Isle of Lesbos where the women are played by buff guys.
If I was in Salem, I would have been burnt.
I mean, look at us. Look at us. They
It's
would have
like-
been like witch on site.
Witch
Literally witch
on
on site.
site.
We're the witches they couldn't burn.
We're the witches that they couldn't burn. Exactly. You need to burn her now.
Burn her and her whole lineage, just to be sure.
I think maybe her mom and her sister as well.
Just get rid-
I feel
just-
like they're just kind of they're bad news. Old, ugly, fat witch. I don't know about you, but I literally saw her flying.
I've seen her flying every day.
Yeah.
I get the point of it, but unfortunately women are not funny, so it doesn't really hit. But yes, I get the point. We're the witches. I hate that fucking thing as well. We're the witches they couldn't burn. Well, you say that, but we're not really trying, are we? We're not really trying.
World and her sort of nefarious sister Clytemnestra. So you've got almost every type of expression, whether it's domestic or single or divine, in that epic. And then you even have the monstrous women, the Scylla and the sirens, who are all powerful and kind of evil. So the main character is a male, but most of the males don't end up well are not portrayed well, whether it's the 102 suitors or it's the crew of Odysseus that always breaks his advice to be moderate and temperate and not offend the gods, and they all end up dying, or it's a weak-kneed Menelaus, or it's the haughty but not very talented Agamemnon. So it's
what is this guy talking about, bro? Does anyone fucking understand anything this old coot is saying? Holy fuck, man. Well, you know, it's not nice longer until they get to the panel stage, but fucking hell, dude. Piers Morgan is really burying the lead here, isn't he? Yeah, bring the racists on later and have some old coot talk a bunch of nonsense.
I would say for that period it was probably composed somewhere orally around 700 to 675, that was one of the most enlightened works of Western literature in the history of Western literature. So I didn't understand the criticism of the actresses, but I haven't seen the movie yet.
Well, let's bring in some of our other guests, A.M. Wilson and Daniel.
Are you saying the Odyssey is more pro-woman than the Nolan version? Gotcha. Okay.
Mendelssohn to start with. Well, A.M. Wilson, your own daughter, Emily, wrote what people have perceived to be a kind of feminist translation of the Odyssey. Do you recognise that characterisation? I mean, from what Victor was just saying, it sounds like it didn't particularly need feminising, but what is your view?
Well, I wouldn't wish to speak for Emily, whom I adore and admire, but the last speaker, Victor, was bang on right. This is a book very largely about females, and after all, don't forget the whole war broke out.
Is that true?
Partly because a female semi-divine figure, Helen, was abducted, and partly because the female deities, particularly Pallas Athene, but also Hera, the sister/wife of Zeus, the chief god, want it to happen. So women are very, very powerful figures in this story, and they're certainly very dominant figures. And also another person I'd like to bring to mind who isn't perhaps very familiar to all the audiences on both sides of the Atlantic.
Fucking hell, bro. Yeah, let's bring a bunch of boring old coots on and keep the racists till later. Yo, Cat Weasel, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Is a Victorian scholar and writer called Samuel Butler, who was so filled with the ideas that Victor was just expressing that he believed that Homer was a woman. That the author of the Odyssey must have been a woman because he was so sympathetic to the female point of view. Right. So I don't think Emily Wilson, who's a great woman and has herself in a recent interview in one of the newspapers, the Financial Times, said she doesn't regard herself as particularly modern. She thinks of herself as a sort of late Victorian. I think she's following along in this Victorian tradition of realising...
Right, honestly, I was thinking about maybe going to check the movie out because of all the conversation about it. But these fucking old Jews banging on about it, it's making me think, fucking hell, maybe I'll give it a miss.
The Odyssey is very sympathetic.
Also, I've seen other stuff as well. Apparently, you've got to see it in IMAX because the way it's been filmed is on IMAX film. So if you go and watch it at a normal cinema, it cuts off a bunch of the picture, so it doesn't look right.
So just to be clear, I mean, you're not speaking for Emily, but
no, I'm
obviously
not. She wouldn't like me to speak.
Right, but you know her view about this. I mean, is she a little bit taken aback by this raging online debate about the supposed over-feminizing of the movie because that in some way goes against the integrity of the original Odyssey?
Well, Emily is a US citizen. She knows what the United States is like, and she knows that there are sort of culture wars going on all the time, so she's not taken aback by anything, I don't think.
Let me bring in Daniel. So Daniel, you've like, been quite critical of the translation for being too keen to strip the heroic and masculine out of the original Odyssey. Is that right?
Sorry, which translation?
Well, of Emily's version for the movie.
Well, I don't. My criticism of Emily's translation, I think, has to do with the way that it partakes of a trend that we have seen in recent years to sort of, let's call it, de-heroize Odysseus. So I think, when there's a choice between two alternative possible translations for a word describing Odysseus, she'll use the most pejorative possible word. So for example, there's an adjective in Greek that most people translate as extremely cunning.
I tell you
or
what, there was a funny meme about this that was like, God, going to the movies is so expensive nowadays. And the receipt has gone on the movie, popcorn and stuff, and then there's like a 12-pack of beer or something like that. Quite a funny little meme. But it is true that it is expensive nowadays. I'm getting old, obviously. But I remember back in the day, you could go to the cinema for like a tenner. And that would include like popcorn and a drink, you know, when I was a kid growing up.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Now that
But
doesn't
how
even
do I
pay for your
make
tickets.
money off depressed people?
The thing that even racists would not dare to mention is that Nolan made Helen black only to have a white man with the blood of Zeus running through his veins being cucked by a black woman. But they will ignore this angle.
Thank you. Thank you for the tip. Thank you. I'm going to have to watch it to find out what's true about this movie. Chud, get a short throw laser projector and sound system and some more acoustics. You can even pay a man to do it. Well, I've got this this big fuck off TV now, so hopefully that's going to look good. We'll see what that looks like. But I've got surround sound too. But yes, I'm in the process of setting up a home a home movie setup. Yes, and I'm thinking about getting it wall mounted possibly, but I don't know, man. Like the thing is, I know you're going to think, oh, it's a big TV, so I would need a man to do it. I'd need like 2 men to come and do it probably, you know. Want to get a projector then? I don't know, dude. I just didn't want to get a projector. I didn't even think of that as an option. Get on Grinder. Okay.
Extremely
Okay,
clever.
dude.
She translates it as liar. You know, and I've seen this in other movie versions. For example, the movie The Return that came out a couple of years ago sort of strips away all of the glamour of Homer's Odyssey. You know, Homer's Odyssey has its protagonist, a character who is brilliant, funny, charming, insinuating, seductive, as well as being, you know, a Bronze Age hero. He's not averse to violence. He's not averse to trickery of a very dastardly kind, but he's an extremely complicated, to use Emily's adjective, character. And I do see in recent both scholarly writing about the Odyssey, in this movie, a kind of stripping away of Odysseus, what used to be seen as these sort of glamorous, brilliant, scintillating qualities of the character, and making him into this, as somebody just on Twitter referred to Odysseus as a mass murderer, you know. So I do think that's a problem. I think you have to give this character all of his many facets. And in my own translation, I'm trying to sort of be as scrupulous as possible, not in trying to turn Homer into something that fits our ideas of masculinity or whatever, but as somebody who reflects the values of a very remote culture in which a certain kind of, as we would say, performative masculinity was not considered to be a bad thing.
Okay.
You know.
Let me bring in. We can talk like this for this.
Just reply to that.
Yeah, I wanted to give you right a reply.
Because I mean, I think.
All right, okay, I can't take it anymore, man. Bring in the culture war retards now. Bring in the racist culture war retards now. Dude, I knew it would be this. Chud watching men put his TV up, working at some bloke's gaff, and he's decided to lay on the bed watching us. Oh my god, dude, that is so funny. No, I normally am up here streaming if there's tradespeople milling about. Actually, I don't just sit on the bed and watch. That's weird. It is a banger. It is a banger.
Absolutely agree. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Piers.
We're going to sub you out, Ian Wilson, with a brilliant contribution. We're going to bring in three of our regular guests, actually, to talk about a lot of the more negative reaction to the Odyssey movie is being driven in part by the movie fan community on YouTube, which is very vociferous. So we're going to bring in two of the biggest names in that space, Will Jordan, aka the Critical Drinker, and Gary Bigler, who's the Nerdrotic, of course. Plus rounding off our truly epic panel, host of Bet News, Mark Lamont Hill. So welcome to the three of you, and Victor's kindly agreed to stay here. Now, Victor teed this up by saying at the start, Critical Drinker. The fuss exclusively about the choice of having Lupita Nyong'o, a black woman, African-American actress, playing Helena Troy, was, somehow...
Why has she got a name that sounds like a racist made it up to mock Africans? What the fuck is that about?
Wrong. That because mythology has her, even though she's not a real person, has her as a white woman.
Shaniqua Nigo. We've got Shaniqua Nigo playing this fucking white character or Greek character. Shaniqua Nigo.
This shouldn't have been the case. What is your view?
That is crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth keeping in mind that something like The Odyssey is this epic fantasy story, but it's fantasy grounded in the real world. It's set within a very specific geographical location and time. And...
Do you know what? They should have got Critical Drinker to direct the movie. After that Rogue Element shit, I reckon it would have been absolutely dross if he directed it. So maybe he should have done it.
Like any geographical location. And
it's just so funny how it's like... He still comes on and says all of this. And when he tried to do it, it was utter dog shit. It was terrible. Dude, didn't we watch it on stream or something, or watch the review of it? It was dreadful. But anyway, listen, I'm being a bit silly. You can still be a movie critic even if you can't do it yourself. You know? Those who can't criticize, as they say.
Time, it has demographics of people that are believable in that time and people who are not. And the best way to contextualize this kind of decision is, say you had a movie set in pre-colonial Africa and one of the tribal leaders was a random white guy, and none of the other characters thought that that was even remotely strange. No one reacted to it and there was no explanation for it. That's kind of the similar situation to what you have with The Odyssey. It doesn't really make sense contextually. And I think...
Yeah. Let's look at this.
Bravo, I found a target. I count 5 guys inside that room.
I can't watch it. It makes me cringe, man. It makes me cringe. It's like a 14-year-old's idea of what a cool movie would be. Do you know what I mean? I can't even watch it, man. It's too cringeworthy.
And that's what people are reacting to. And this is coming off the back of a period within Hollywood movie making where there has been a lot of rather bizarre race swaps of characters. I mean, if you go back to, things like we've produced over here in the UK, we've had an Asian Sir Isaac Newton, we've had a black Anne Boleyn. These are real historical characters, but we're now supposed to pretend that they're a completely different race, and it doesn't make sense.
Right, Mark Lamont Hill, I saw you smirking with derision there, I think. I'm right in identifying the nature of the smirk. But if I said to you, look, I'm going to be starring as Othello next week in a massive Broadway version of Shakespeare's great play, would you feel that would be appropriate, given I'm a white guy?
First, you read my smirk correctly. Your powers of observation and analysis have really sharpened since I started coming on the show. You're welcome. I think for me the question is always, is it historically accurate? Yes, but also what's the genre? If it's mythic, if it's fantasy, or if the artist is explicitly saying, hey, we're not playing on historical accuracy.
Oh, dude, he's doing the meme, isn't he? He's going to do the meme. Well, it's fantasy, so what does it matter? What's the problem with having a Vauxhall Corsa in the middle of a fucking Lord of the Rings movie? Dude, he's doing the meme.
Precisely because of the fantasy aspect of it, I'm fine with it. But if you're actually not doing that and you're not eyes wide open, you don't show your cards, then it would be a problem. So if you were playing Othello and we had that conversation, I'd be fine with it. The reason I smirked was because there's a long history in Hollywood of white people playing characters that should be black people. I mean Charlton Heston as Moses was kind of wild. You know what I mean? Was it Laurence Olivier who played the Mahdi in the 70s film about Muhammad Ahmed al-Mahdi in Sudan? I mean, it's fascinating to me to see the outrage now, particularly since the character's
We've
so
got
small.
our issues with those pieces of casting as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
I mean,
alive when
saying,
that happened.
I'm not sure we should.
I made an entire video
But I'm
about
not sure
terrible
we should.
casting choices in Hollywood, and one of them was John Wayne playing Genghis Khan in The Conqueror. I think that's completely absurd as well. So I've got plenty of issues with bad
Cost him his life.
whitewashing casting over the
Right, so, okay. So this guy's trying to criticize them. Dude, I don't even like Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. They are like the biggest fucking slot purveyors going. But if they have criticized those sorts of things, then they're consistent. I mean, what can you say? Yeah, they don't like it when there's ahistoric casting of things.
years, but that was 50 or 60 years ago. I can't do anything about that now.
Daniel Mendelsohn, one of our other panelists here, penned a column for the New York Times entitled, "Does Matt Damon Look Greek? No. So stop complaining about Lupita Nyong'o." In it, he asks, so what is Mr. Nolan up to? As it turns out, the auteur is using Helen just as the Greek authors did to provoke, challenge, and discomfort how we think about beauty and identity, about who we are and how we relate to the world. By that criteria, what's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? Well, what I primarily point out for the film is the hypocrisy from Hollywood.
Dude, the problem is this, right? Like, this is a bit dishonest, because a white person can look a bit Greek, okay? You can sort of get there roughly, can't you? Right? It's not that crazy. It's not that fucking crazy. But a black is completely out of the question. A black, black as the ace of spades is not really anywhere close. And I'm not particularly invested in this. I don't fucking care about this stupid shit. But it's just funny the way that it's like, you got this fucking, actual fully black woman, and it's like, well, that's just the same as a white person playing a Greek, no?
If you're trying to be provocative, then
Bro, what is this, dude? Not black, she's fully knocked out. Oh my god, you guys are too much, man. You guys are too much. Stop saying crazy shit, dude. Like, knocked out.
You're being subversive. You're just coming out and saying, yes, we're being subversive, we're being provocative with this casting. So it's not the best person for the role, and it's not for authenticity. We're trying to challenge traditional beliefs. Well, that's something Christopher Nolan doesn't usually do. This is a game he doesn't usually play. And let's not forget that these beliefs, these quote unquote values of diversity and inclusion are baked into the awards rules. So they're baked into the company's rules and the award.
Yeah, this is what I was just thinking, actually. Is this casting a product of the rules that exist? I don't actually know off the top of my head, because I don't give a fuck about this to go and investigate, like, what are the Oscar rules? But if it is true that the Oscar rules are X, Y, and Z, and this casting could be seen, I can see that being an argument, certainly. But I remember there being instructions. I know this. I got I know someone who works in PR up in London, and he was telling me that there are now rules for awards that you need to hit certain markers of diversity in order to be applicable for awards, and it's a way of kind of exerting pressure on companies to not have a bunch of whites running the show. So I don't know. We'll look it up and we'll see.
Rules. And we just had a film that completely flopped, Moana, the live action remake that was touting how authentic it was to that culture. Well, that's just a fantasy. Why does it matter? And my argument is, if it doesn't matter, then why change it? It's the motivation behind the change that people sense. And it also is a red flag for how we're going to treat the source material and how we're going to.
Okay. Yes, the Oscars require movies to meet diversity and inclusion standards to be eligible for the Best Picture award. So to win Best Picture, there needs to be diversity. To qualify, a film must submit a confidential form and meet at least 2 of the 4 categories. On-screen representation, feature a lead actor from an underrepresented group, center the story in diverse communities, or cast at least 30% of the ensemble from underrepresented backgrounds. Creative leadership, employ people from underrepresented groups in key behind-the-scenes roles. Industry access, provide paid apprenticeships, internship and training opportunities for underrepresented groups. Hire diverse teams for marketing, publicity, and distribution. Okay. But that apparently is just for Best Picture. But then obviously Nolan will be going for Best Picture, right?
Go through, like I saw this with the Rings of Power. The Rings of Power, they changed, they had black dwarves and black elves, and oh, by the way, they completely went off the text. So it's a red flag for something else. Now, Lupita Nyong'o, if I'm mispronouncing her name, I apologize, but if she's in it for a little bit, like the movie could still.
Also, interestingly, first announced these standards on September 8th, 2020. They published the guidelines. Filmmakers required to submit a confidential representation and inclusion standards entry for data gathering purposes, but it wasn't mandatory. And in 2024, the rules took full effect. Making compliance mandatory for any film seeking a Best Picture nomination. Right, there we go. So, yeah. It's not for all Oscars, it's just for Best Picture. But obviously, a movie like this undoubtedly would be pursuing a Best Picture nomination. So that's the reality of it. Well, basically, any movie looking for Best Picture, there is going to be some measures they wouldn't otherwise take to get in the running. And obviously, it's up for debate how that's done, what that looks like, what impact that has. I mean, I don't know, dude. I guess I'm confused as to why it's necessary, because was it not kind of moving of its own accord to a more diverse environment? Why is it necessary to put these, rules in place in the first place?
Be good. It could absolutely still be good, but it's a red flag and it's subversive casting. So it does rile people up. It's meant to rile people up, just like the casting of Black Snake.
Okay, Victor, let me bring you back in here, if I may.
Yes.
What's your response to that argument?
I think he makes a good point about subversive. When we talk about people of different races playing characters, the complaint about Hollywood, say, pre-1980 was that white characters, Burt Lancaster, Charles Bronson, Audrey Hepburn, who played Native Americans, the issue was there were probably Native American actors who would have been more authentic. I don't know if they were as good actors, but there was no effort. But the point I'm making is they tried to look or appear as they were Native Americans. So when a Mexican-American actor played Zorba the Greek, Anthony Quinn tried to look Greek, and it was enhanced because he looked Greek in some ways. When Laurence Olivier tried to play Othello, he was white, but he tried to look like he was North African. And this is, I think the other guest was right about trying to be subversive. In the case of Lupita, I mean, it would be kind of absurd in modern sensibilities to have an African-American actress or African-British actress then wear, I guess we could use that word, whiteface, so she would appear more authentic as far as the actual text of Homer goes. But it is a subversive act. It's saying that we're going to take somebody who does not appear anywhere near the look of Helen, and why it might have been less subversive for Clytemnestra of other characters. After all, Helen is the central character and caused the Trojan War. I have no problem, as the other guest said, about being subversive, if that's openly your point, is to draw attention that you're trying to destroy characterization or traditional stereotypes, but it's not being authentic to what the author imagined.
Okay,
it might be your interpretation of what he imagined, but if it isn't, and again, I think, just to finish, we have a whole tradition of. It is kind of insulting to it's very unpopular. There's a lot of controversy in Greece. It would be as if you made an epic. Remade How the West Was Won, and you didn't have one American actor in it. You all had Europeans or Africans or Asians. So,
dude, one of the problems with Pierce's show is you got these people like, these three here are the content, really. For one reason or another, you like these guys, like this guy, don't like these guys, think that whatever your perspective is, it brings the content to have them debate and argue and bicker about how many blacks are in Christopher Nolan's new movie. And then some old kook comes along and starts bleating on about a bunch of boring shit. Bro, get back to talking about the fucking blacks and transoid in the movie now.
It's national epic, which the Greek people feel is a continuous tradition from the 7th, 8th century, and not have a single Greek actress or actor is kind of jarring when you go out of your way to get other people who would cause controversy and sometimes in a subversive manner.
Right. Well, I was actually in Greece,
that's why the
coincidentally.
controversy
I'm going to bring
stands.
Daniel back in here. I was actually in Greece a few days last week, coincidentally, and I had this anger expressed because there are no Greeks in this movie. An open letter in the Greek City Times said, Greek people did not disappear after the age of myth. Greek culture was not frozen in classical marble. Greek language was not extinguished in antiquity. We are still here. Now, if you go back in time, this is not the first time you've had a black actress play Helena Troy. Orson Welles cast Eartha Kitt as his Helena Troy back in 1950, something I didn't discover until this morning. So there is precedent for this, Daniel. It's been done. There wasn't the outcry then, there is now. But if I'm Greek, I'm probably looking at this going, yeah, I would take the view that Vita just articulated, which is, seriously, you're not going to have a single Greek actor?
Well, what Greek actors are there that would be in this? What Greek actors even exist? I don't even know who this black actress is, in fairness. John Stamos. That sounds made up, dude. Stavros. Go to Greece to find one. Yeah, but the problem you've got is you need a celebrity draw, don't you? You need celebrity draw.
In the Odyssey?
I mean, first of all, I think it has to be said that all of this is a sort of a tempest in a teacup, because as anyone who has read the Odyssey knows, Helen has the tiniest imaginable role in the Odyssey. And I have seen the film, and I think it's fair to say that she's on screen for maybe 45 seconds.
Sorry, I got distracted. Who's on the screen?
Because as anyone who has read the Odyssey knows, Helen has the tiniest imaginable role in the Odyssey. And I have seen the film, and I think it's fair to say that she's on screen for maybe 45 seconds.
Is that true? Is that true? That she's only on screen for 45 seconds? Well, okay. It's not to say that you can't take issue with it, necessarily. Okay? It's more so... Okay. It's more so that all the fucking conversation about her I've seen on Twitter, and she's on screen for 45 seconds. If that's true, that really undermines how much people are talking about this black cunt. No way, dude, that's too much, bro. I don't mean that. I mean black as in a black woman. Love a black woman. Great stuff. Cunt as in a woman, because I hate women. That's more acceptable, hopefully. But anyway, I don't fucking know. It just popped out. It just popped out. Now, what I'm saying is the volume of discourse around her is so excessive to, if it's true, the fact she's on stream for such a short amount of time. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, okay? What if a piece of shit, bro, that's crazy racist, was on your plate for 45 seconds? Would you still eat it? I mean, I don't think that's really a good way. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. No, obviously I wouldn't. But what I'm saying is, there's a volume of discourse that doesn't seem to match the reality of, how long she's on screen for. But anyway, that black woman seems like a dumb bitch. Her points are stupid. I don't even necessarily agree with her being cast in that. I'm just like, fucking hell, really? You're banging on about this on this level? And she's only on screen for that short amount of time?
Literally. So that's one thing. I mean, it really seems to be silly to getting everyone's knickers in a twist about a very minor character.
He did that on purpose. He did that on purpose, dude. Come off it, man. Who says knickers like that? That he did it on purpose, man. This guy's having a laugh.
Seconds, literally. So that's one thing. I mean, it really seems to be silly to getting everyone's knickers in a twist about a very minor character. Is he trying to be provocative? Yeah, absolutely. I would say that, of course, you're not going to cast a Black person as Abraham Lincoln because these are historical documents, and we know, we have a sense of what historical characters look like. We have documentary proof. This is a fantasy epic, right? We're all used by now to seeing all kinds of actors of every imaginable extraction on the stage, in movies, operas, playing kinds of people that were, roles that were written originally for white people. It really doesn't matter to me. I think the real question to be asking about this movie, and I don't know who else among my fellow guests here has seen it. I saw it earlier this Monday, last Monday, forget about the details. Everyone's hysterical that the ship isn't accurate, the armor isn't accurate, the costumes aren't accurate. They speak with American accents because, as everyone knows, the ancient Greeks and Romans spoke with British accents, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the real question I think we should be focused on here is, does this film convey the spirit of the original? That's the question to ask in a large sense.
I would say, where does it stop if you start saying, well, the armor's not accurate, the ships aren't accurate, the casting's not accurate, the accents are not accurate, the dialogue's not accurate? Well, what do you have left? How far are you going to go with this?
Well, also,
I don't think that's about. No, I think absolutely you can get the thrust of the story across, its main themes. I don't think these incidentals actually matter that much. If it presents Odysseus as the kind of hero he is in the original, if it gets across the crucial themes, homecoming, the meaning of home, the allure of adventure, competing with the desire for the stability of home, all of that stuff, then I'll be happy.
Okay, let me bring in. I want to bring in Mark Lamont Hill here because of something Critical Drinker, whose video on the Odyssey has had over 5 million views. And Critical Drinker says 3 million.
Just 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, you've been promoted.
Could hit 5.
You've been promoted. It's been promoted by one of my team. Obviously, he just wants to make you sound even more successful and famous and rich than you already are, which is hard to imagine. So only 3 million views. But in it, you say about it, there's this weird assumption that every other culture, race, and ethnic group in the world are entitled to their own unique stories, history, and identity, and it all has to be carefully fenced off and respected, whereas anything created by white Europeans is treated like some generic all-you-can-eat buffet that everyone's allowed to stick their hands into. Mark Lamont Hill, your response to that?
I actually think that's a reasonable point. Yeah, I do agree with that. Piers is correct. No, that's what Critical Drinker said. How are Greeks white? Well, yeah, Greeks are they're kind of a bit of a grey sludge of a race, aren't they? They're swarthoids. Yeah, exactly. They're swarthoids.
I think that feeling is one that every culture and ethnicity and race has. I mean, we have this conversation every year whenever there's a movie about slaves or enslaved people in the United States, and we looked at all the actors aren't black people; they're getting played by Brits, and it's.
What? What movie is he talking about there? Mystery Me. What movie is he on about there? Also, what's the suggestion there? If you're a Brit, you can't be black. Wait. 12 years a slave. Oh, what? Because Matey Boy played the slave. But he's black. But he's fucking black. Does he mean African American? I think he means... No, I think to be fair to him, I think what he means is a British black person is not an African American. They're not a product of the slave trade in America or whatever, right?
It's a similar conversation internally within the black community, the African American community in particular, even about Lupita. And so I think that feeling is common, but I think when it comes to European culture, European civilization, I don't see any historical record of that. I mean, the fact that we're still showing the Odyssey, playing the Odyssey, reenacting the Odyssey, rewriting the Odyssey. People make their academic careers just on translations of the Odyssey. We are obsessed with European culture and centering it. And when one film comes out that has an alternate interpretation and a more fantastic, and I mean that in the sense of fantasy, a more fantastic interpretation of it, we act as if, the world is ending, and I don't think we need to do that. I think it's okay to have this type of interpretation, and I think if you were to subject any text or any film to historical scrutiny. If I were to look at any film about the 50s or the 60s, if you look closely enough at the clothes that they're wearing or the music that's playing, there's usually some anachronism.
Yeah, sure. I just think that this is not earnestly looking at the. You know, to me, it's not. It's like an ideological thing. They do have less of a concern about retaining the, you know, kind of racial. I can't think of any other word, bro. You know, that it's like there is a racial purity that they're not respecting of when it comes to certain media. That is what I'm getting at. I don't know how else to describe the sanctity of whiteness. Wait, what is this then?
Ending a war. Life on the sand. Dreaming a land. Sight of a man. Fantasies and dreams. A nightmare. A thought. Night tales and schemes. I nailed the trick. Those spells were sick.
And we're supposed to sit here with a straight face and go, yeah, this is totally normal. Totally fucking normal.
A lost soul in Troy. My heart growing old. What happened to it sticking to the plan, man? Now I'm marching to a speech, I'm having fan withdrawals. Ran to it, got a mask and please leave me. These tools I'm working with ain't really sharp at all. Looking for a siren, hoping that they call. Blowing over water, I can hear those holes. Those holes.
Well, I can check and see. We can ask Grok. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm being a bit overly skeptical. It probably is real, isn't it? Is this true? That's for the Best Picture nomination. Yeah, just get some black noise. Get some black noise in there so we can get the Best Picture nomination. We don't want too many blacks stinking up the cast, so let's get some black music in there.
There. It just so happens that we're sort of obsessed with this one. And then finally, in terms of fidelity to the text, most books that are turned into films are not the same as the movie. Go watch The Color Purple. It is absolutely different on screen than what happened in the book. What Spielberg did is very different than what Alice Walker did. That is a normal artistic gesture.
Dude, this is what you want. This is going to be in the soundtrack. This is the soundtrack. That's the bit where the guy comes up on the boat to fight whatever the thing he's fighting, the monster or whatever. That's what's going to be next. That's what's going to be next. If you don't like it, you're racist.
And no one is confused about this.
Okay, yes. Yeah. The attached video is official soundtrack poster artwork. Okay. Yeah, that is a song from, Travis Scott, James Blake, and Ludwig Göransson. That is a song from the movie. Yes, so it's at least I should say it in the soundtrack of the movie.
And it seems to me that the only people we're worried about, not you guys, but some people are worried about there, is the Lupita one, the smallest character in the film. Again, nobody's Greek. Nobody matches ethnically, nationally, etc., culturally with these characters. But the only one that seems so out of step that we can't stand it is the black one, and that's why.
Because a white person can pass as a Greek at a glance, but a black stands out like a sore thumb. That's the difference. That's the fucking difference, bro. What is so difficult to understand about this? That, matey boy, what's his name? Matt Damon. Matt Damon at a glance you could think is Greek. But with a black, it's like, what the fuck, dude? That black is the Ace of Spades. What the fuck, man?
Eartha Kitt made sense probably because she's not as dark as Lupita, so it wasn't as jarring to people. But the idea that the black character has to be the one that we put on the outs of this is silly. None of them fit.
Well,
okay,
we're talking about Lupita a lot, but that there's Zendaya, there's Elliot Page. which nobody's brought up. I mean,
Well,
it's a
I was
lot of
actually
things.
literally about to ask
Yeah,
you about that.
yeah,
So let me just
yeah.
ask you that, Nadronic, because Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page, so a trans woman who became a trans man, is in the role of Sinon, a cunning Greek soldier and the cousin of Odysseus. Is been billed as another casting controversy, said to be a nod to contemporary LGBTQ, etc. politics. And the memes have been relentless. Let's take a look at some of these.
She, her!
So
Piers Morgan really just play that utter gutter tier AI slop. Unbelievable, bro. I don't believe it. I don't believe that he played that utter dross, bro.
that was inevitable, I guess, from the online stuff, because that's what the online world does. But I mean, and the memes have been relentless. Let's take a look at some of these.
She, her!
So that was.
Oh, I'm sure there's better ones as well. I'm sure there's better ones too than that one. That's like one of the worst ones, isn't it?
It's inevitable, I guess, from the online stuff, because that's what the online world does. But I mean, should we care about this? Is it a nod to the LGBTQ culture war, or is it just the fact that Elliot Page is a good actor, got picked for the role, and does a good job?
I think
I
it's-
don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Was
No,
that for
that's
me?
Yeah, it's for you, Nadronic, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if Elliot's a good actor or not. I think it's you could make an argument that Christopher Nolan likes to work with people he has worked with before, and you can also make an argument that this is absolutely a nod for that. I think it's a little bit of both. I don't know why you bring in a character that wasn't even in the original poem from outside it, you know, and to just for this part, and that those are changes that certainly can be made. And again, if Christopher Nolan's name isn't attached to this film, everybody's going to think it's a bomb. But Christopher Nolan being attached to this film, he gets a certain amount of respect that he absolutely deserves, the benefit of the doubt, which he absolutely deserves. I don't know how much Elliot is actually in the film as well. It could be a very small part as far as I know.
My understanding is, I think they get killed quickly or something. I don't fucking know, man. Spoiler alert, I guess, but I don't fucking know. Apparently they die, like... Aren't they supposed to be some sort of placeholder for Achilles? Yeah, so I know that you don't care because you don't give a fuck about white culture. But Achilles is supposed to play a big part in the Odyssey, and that part is played by some random soldier that happens to be Elliot. Right, okay.
And it still could be good, but you can't blame people. The context of this is, yes, there is a culture war. There's always a culture war. And there's one it's an open culture war right now. And we are 10 years deep into it. And we are seeing the same red flags and signs as we have seen with other films, be it historical drama or just known mythological text or just a well-known story, that they are changing to be subversive. And people are now sensing that. That breaks the spell, that breaks authenticity, and it takes you out of the movie when you know what the motivation is. The motivation should be best person for the job, period.
Yeah, Victor, I mean, take, for example, the ongoing thing about James Bond, right? Who's obviously a fictitious character, British spy. And I've never had a problem when there were rumors that Idris Elba may be the new Bond, of having a black man play James.
Well, the thing is, Idris Elba, it's. I think that one thing the anti-wokes miss is it's not necessarily the problem of like a black person playing Bond or something. It needs to be like good casting and not just some like the idea of like that super black woman being Bond or something like that. But if there's like a good black actor that could play Bond, it's like, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. You know, mix it up a bit. Mix it up a bit. Change things around. Idris Elba is a good actor. It isn't some thug blank. Okay. Yes, he could pull off the act because he's a good actor. Yeah, etc. Yes. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I think it was a good refresh under Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig brought something to the role. And it did have a dip with that oil movie, the water oil thing, the Quantum of Solace. And then it got good after that. Yeah, Idris Elba's one of the good ones. Idris Elba's my black mate that I want to play Bond. Yes, 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 exactly.
Bond, because I thought fictitious character, why does that matter? I don't think the racial identity of James Bond is particularly pertinent to the movies. However, I had a big problem when there were rumours circulating it might be a woman. They might change James Bond's sex. So I don't even know if my views are consistent here.
This got deleted by the AI mod. Idris Elba would be a good Bond if you were Jewish, knock-loving cuck. Who do you think should play him, Anglo Pigeon?
With any of this debate, but
I think they could be rescued. The issue is twofold. Are these first the anachronisms? Are they within the parameters of the believable? So if you have a ship, does it sort of look like a trireme, or does it look like a U.S. destroyer to be extreme? So
Steve
the
Laws.
same thing with the characters. Do they approximate?
Bro, Steve Laws isn't an actor. He's just some racist advocate or something, isn't he? He's not even an actor.
The image that you want to convey that this is happening in early Greece. And the same thing, I think, with race. If you have an Ian Fleming's novel and it's very male-centric and masculine in the 1950s or 40s sense, and you have a black actor, you can say, well, race is incidental, not essential to who James Bond was because he's a man of action. But when you bring a woman in, then...
Dude, someone said Anglo Pigeon's account was banned. This, by the way, this is my new account that I look at for political information. Your local shitlib wants to deport Argentine players for playing dirty, but wants to import millions of black and brown rapists. Oh my god, dude. Dude, literally no evidence for this, and it's been retweeted, and it's just been retweeted. What is this? He just retweeted this as well. Locals in Crowborough have reported that illegal miners have been raping horses in nearby fields. Oh my god, dude. Wow. Oh my god, dude. This is the politics account you want. This is what Andy Burnham needs to be looking at before he goes into number 10. I hear that apparently there's hope not hate ex-workers being employed by him. What about this, dude? What about this? Get Anglo Pigeon on your team. He'll sort it out for you. He'll counterbalance all the woke trash that those idiots are going to be packing your ears with. Get this guy on the fucking team. Get this guy on the team.
That's a bridge too far because it violates the entire ethos or atmosphere of who James Bond is. And I think Daniel made a good point. When the two minor characters are the two sisters, Clytemnestra and Helen, in the Odyssey, they almost have they don't have very many lines at all. So if you want to bring in an African American and work within the boundaries, but if you were to cast her as Penelope, that's a central character, and that would bring attention so that her race would be essentialized rather than incidental to the character of Penelope. Yeah. And I think what he's doing is, and I haven't seen the movie, but I think he's working around the periphery. He's using trans actors or black actors in roles that you're usually not accustomed to see them in, but not tampering with the essential Odysseus. This argument would be raging if Odysseus was black or Asian, as it would be with other, works. If you had a Martin Luther King novel and the person was white, that would be jarring. It would even if it was a fiction, nobody would want to do that. But if you had an advisor who was black and you changed that advisor to a white person for ecumenicalism or diversity, nobody would really object. Right. So the question I have is he doing this because these are great actors and they will enhance even these minor roles, or maybe even to stretch it a little?
I've never heard of Shaniqua Nigo before, so I'm not really sure if it's a good argument or a good concept being presented. Who even is this person? What have they been in before? It does just seem like, you know, she's been added for the purposes of some diversity quota for the best picture for the Oscar. Because why would you not just have, you know, a normal white actress in the mix?
A little bit. Is he doing it to open people's sensibilities, or is he just doing it, as has been suggested, to be subversive,
Right.
or even to please the people who produce the movies and distribute them and award them?
Well, there is another theory, and I'm going to bring this to Daniel, because there was a very entertaining spat online on X between the historian Tom Holland and Elon Musk. And it began when Holland posted lots of people telling me The Odyssey is a terrible film on the basis of not having seen it. I've now watched it twice, and it is by some way the best cinematic adaptation of a Greek myth I've ever seen. It honors Homer while simultaneously making something new of him. Now, Elon Musk disagreed, saying Chris Nolan desecrated The Odyssey so that he would be eligible for an Academy Award. Now, he then called Holland a cuck, which is, we believe, because he got the wrong Tom Holland. He thought it was the actor who plays Spider-Man, who he thinks is in the thrall of his actress girlfriend and now wife, we believe. In response, the actual Tom Holland, the historian, responded, very happy to say it again, The Odyssey is an amazing film, and missing out on seeing it because you think it's woke or whatever, it's cutting off your, or whatever, it's cutting off your nose to spite your face, your loss. So, Daniel, you have...
Well, I think the thing is, I don't think you should avoid seeing it just because it's woke, right? I think you need to, like, if you don't want to watch it because you're not interested, fine. But just thinking, oh, it's woke, I'm not going to bother. That does seem a bit silly. Like, watch and make your own mind up at the end of the day. Because, you know, there's more to it than it just being woke or not being woke. Like, even if a movie is woke, there can still be aspects and facets of it that you enjoy. So I wouldn't say just don't bother watching it if you think it's woke. Don't watch it if you're not interested. But yeah, I think that, you know, I probably will watch it at some point. But honestly, going to the cinema at the moment, it probably is just... The only time I'm going to be going to the cinema anytime soon is probably to take the kids to watch some movie. Some shitty kid movie. Minions and Monsters or something. Yes, Chud, give the Jews your money anyway, even if you hate woke. Excellent idea. We agree. Well, it's not about giving them the money. It's just don't let your perception of something being woke or not affect whether or not you watch it, because there can be things that are eye-rolling. It's like Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is a good game, but there's some eye-rolling woke moments in it that are like, oh, okay. But it is a good game overall, and I'd be ashamed to not experience that just because you've heard it's got some woke aspects to it.
Seen it. Would you concur with Tom Holland?
Well, here in the States, there's a very strict embargo on reviews, so I can't say too much about it. But I do think it does bring across some of the big moments, you know, the moments we know and love, the Cyclops, the incredible shipwrecks, you know, the storms at sea, Scylla, the six-headed dragon that eats his men, and the great whirlpool Charybdis. I will, Piers, I'm going to have to answer your question obliquely by repeating what I said before. I think, and I'm responding to something, Victor, that you were saying, you really, the main criterion has to be the central character, whether he comes across the way that Homer paints him, which is as multifaceted, brilliant, slightly arrogant, violent when he needs to be, but also charming, you know, he's sort of a James Bond himself.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
And that to me was the big question. I just filed my own very long review of the movie, but I do think that's the question actually that should be raised. But you know, I'm a fan of Christopher Nolan. When it was announced that he was going to be doing this, I was very enthusiastic, partly because, you know, one of the things about the Odyssey that I think people need to think about in evaluating how this adaptation works is not the details, but Homer has a very complicated way of telling this story. It does not unfold chronologically. There's incredible looping back in time, stories within stories, conversations within conversation. It's a very kind of knotted way of storytelling. And that is something I think Chris Nolan is, I'm sure many of you have seen his movies. This is something he loves playing with. His own plots, his own movies often are very complicatedly narrated, moving back and forth between past and future and through time. So I thought this is the right guy for the job. And that's one of the things that I appreciated about the way he handled Homer, was not the substance, let's call it, but the style, which seemed very Chris Nolan-ish and very
I'm a massive Nolan fan. I think he's a cinematic genius. But let me go to our two movie gurus here and just get a prediction for how it's going to do, because early numbers suggest the Odyssey's on track for a massive domestic opening in the United States of 80.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to do really well. That dude, I tell you one thing about these anti-woke types that I think is so stupid, is they act like they're accountants for the companies that they're criticizing sometimes, and they're like, oh, this is not going to do very well financially. This is only going to make blah, 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 blah. And they just hyper-obsess and focus on like how much money it makes and shit like that. And they, if something does badly, they use it to prop up the idea that they're correct, But then when a woke movie does well, it's like, what happened to go woke, go broke? It's not always certain that just because a movie sucks and it's woke, it doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't going to do loads of money. It seems completely, other factors at play other than how woke it is. Most want to give a fuck it's a Nolan film. You don't think so? I mean, dude, no, I think Nolan's got a lot of draw. There's a reason that he's included in all of these interviews with actors. It's because he has got draw in and of himself as a movie creator. Whereas a lot of the time, the directors are kind of behind the scenes or doing separate kind of lesser interesting interviews. People will go to watch a movie because it's Nolan.
To $100 million. So, Critical Drinker, is this going to be another Nolan smash hit, do you think?
It's definitely not going to lose money, put it that way. I don't know if it's going to reach the same heights as something like Oppenheimer, because there's not quite the same immediate cultural attachment to it as you did with something like Oppenheimer, which is still within living memory, and we're still living with the fallout of that, for lack of a better word. And it doesn't have the Barbenheimer effect, which really pushed both of those movies to much greater heights than they would have had individually anyway. So I think something in the region of 700 to 800 million would be a reasonable number for this film. I think I could see it reaching that pretty easily.
Okay, and Andronic, finally a difficult question for you. I could have put it to either of you, but I picked on you mercilessly. Is it better for your business model if this is a massive turkey or a massive hit?
Believe it or not, it doesn't matter.
Really?
Nah, bullshit, dude. Bullshit, bro. As if you aren't going to make a fucking fortune pumping out videos about how Christopher Nolan's latest movie flopped because it's full of blacks and transoids. Dude, that is total cope, bro.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Be a demoralized bugman like Chud and go give your money to the Jewish Hollywood. Don't read the original, that's too taxing for a bugman brain. But seriously, those who read Iliad and Odyssey have no reason to watch this utter goy slop of a movie.
Well, I feel very raped. I feel very raped. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for raping me. Thank you for raping me. Nah, this is cope, man.
Same result either way. I have gotten, if we want to break down the financials, when I praise a movie, when it gets the same amount of money as when I don't. The best thing for my business model is being honest.
Yeah.
So if I love this movie, I'm gonna tell you I love this movie. And
dude, this is such bullshit, dude. You're telling me it wouldn't be an absolute money spinner if Christopher Nolan's latest movie, which is getting broadly criticized for being woke, flopped, and you can make a bunch of videos talking about how it's woke and it's flopped. Just, oh, dude, why be dishonest about it? Why? Just say, I mean, to be honest with you, if it flopped, yeah, I'd make a shitload of money.
You know what? The race swaps didn't matter. This thing was a masterpiece, and I'm a fan of Nolan. But the most important thing to any content creator should be being honest.
I 100% agree with that. Authenticity. I think it's why young people are gravitating more and more to channels like yours and this one and others. You just got to be authentic, and people will love you, they'll hate you, but they can't deny you are being true to yourself, and that's the most powerful weapon a human being has. What a fascinating debate. What a great panel. Thank you all very much indeed. I appreciate it.
He's a regular guest, isn't he? He's like a regular guest on his show.
He is a king. He's a less.
I don't want to watch that at this point. Let's watch. Let's see what Critical Drinker actually said about it. Let's see. Oh, dude, they uploaded their little segment on there. Okay, where is it? Oh, this is it. The Odyssey. Oh dear, this is it here.
Oh dear, if it's not one thing, it's another. No sooner has Hollywood weathered the absolute storm that blew up around Supergirl, causing irreparable damage to female-led superhero movies and probably James Gunn's career, than
Is this true? Is this actually true? It caused damage to his career. I know that it was, well, I think the movie did badly, right? I'm pretty sure the movie did actually do quite poorly.
Another tempest looms on the horizon. And I'm not talking about the kind that this Galadriel cosplayer was banging on about.
There's a tempest in me.
Dude. Dude. Oh my god, man. Move on. I got nothing to move on to. I need to go in about an hour or so. I got nothing else in the pipe for now until later. So yeah, we just kind of raped, bro. We just kind of raped. I could spend an hour talking about Andy Burnham. Actually, we could do that.
I mean, another potentially devastating audience backlash, this time against Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. It's a
Yes, I know. I said a normal week. I've got a thing at the school I need to go to. I need to go to a thing at the school, then I'm going to be back after that to cover all of the crazy drama that's been happening. I'm going to get to everything that's been going. It's going to be crazy.
Film that's already had its share of controversies and criticisms, everything from the postmodern feminist translation of the source text to the cinematography, costumes, historical authenticity, look and feel, and worst of all, the casting.
And it will not be quelled by you, Regent.
Not only is it a movie based on an ancient Greek legend with no actual Greek people in it, but well, the people they actually did cast were questionable at best. And holy shit, did people make their feelings known. At the time of making this video, the latest countdown trailer is sitting at 48,000 likes and 213,000 dislikes.
Oh my god, this probably is disliked, yes, but fucking hell, dude, it's not accurate, it's not accurate, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, it's not true, it's not true, it's not true.
God only knows what it'll be like by the time you're watching this video. Either way though, that is fucking brutal, man. I've never seen anything like this on a Christopher Nolan movie. Make no mistake, this is more than just a few curmudgeons on the internet fighting a culture war. This is a mainstream, widespread backlash against this movie. This is the kind of shitstorm I haven't seen since Snow White.
It's Hollywood, baby.
And it's interesting to compare this to the backlash against Supergirl because in some ways, I can see the parallels between the perception of the two films.
That doesn't make sense.
Now,
dude, it's so crazy that this guy can put in all these dated memes and people like it. I'm like, dude, this is so... Why are you putting all these old memes, bro? Freshen things up a bit, surely. Did this guy like Citizen Vigilante? I thought he hadn't seen it and he was listening to someone talk about it. Also, I've not given up on Cyberpunk, no. I'll be playing it later. But I'll have time to do a few topics before we get into it.
Stick with me here because I am going someplace with this. Supergirl had the bad luck of landing right at the intersection of three major...
Who knew Hades had so much fucking coal? Coal, 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 coal.
Thank you for the kicks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not even a review, is it? It's just complaining about the blacks and saying Supergirl sucked.
Problems in modern entertainment. 1. Superhero fatigue. 2. Girl boss fatigue. And 3. James Gunn fatigue. All of those factors combine together to sour people's anticipation for the film before it even released. Because us humans are pretty good at pattern recognition, and let's be honest here, we've had a pretty bad run of female-led superhero movies and TV shows over the past 5 years, and we've had an even worse run of James Gunn-led projects. Keep serving up shit food at your restaurant, and guess what? People are gonna start complaining, and then they're gonna stop showing up. But the Odyssey might be walking right into its own little intersection of stuff that people are getting increasingly pissed off about.
Hang on a minute, though. This seems to be giving the impression that the Odyssey is going to fail in some way, no? Is that not the implication? And it's on track to do crazy numbers. I think one thing that's happening here as well is you're seeing like a microcosm of criticism on like Twitter and stuff like that. But more broadly, I don't think people really give a fuck. I think that people, generally speaking, just think, oh, cool Nolan movie, I'm going to go watch. And that's it, you know? I don't think they really think that deeply about the fact there's a black person that plays this character.
For example, 1. Race swap fatigue. 2. Gender ideology fatigue. And 3. Zendaya fatigue. Let's start with the first one because... well, it's first. Now, you don't need me to tell you that there's been a frustrating rise in the race swapping of established characters and in some cases, actual historical figures in recent years. And of course, it only ever goes in one direction. There's this weird assumption that every other culture, race and ethnic group in the world are entitled to their own unique stories, history and identity, and it all has to be carefully fenced off, protected and respected. Whereas anything created by white Europeans is treated like some generic all-you-can-eat buffet that everyone's allowed to stick their hands into. Black female Vikings? Sure, why not? And
what is this from? What is this from?
Stick their hands into. Black female...
What show is this or movie is this? Any comments on the black royalty you had in England? Which, oh, the Scottish people, is that what you're talking about? Black Panther 2. Vikings, the TV show. I don't know what this is, but anyway, I mean, it does look a bit silly, sure. I agree that this looks silly.
Vikings? Sure, why not? An Asian Isaac Newton? Oh.
Whoa, what is this? What is this from, dude? What is this? What the fuck is going on here, man? Oh, Doctor Who. Yeah, this is Doctor Who, I think. Dude, what the fuck, man? I mean, that's absurd. That is just absurd. Why have you got some Isaac Newton?
Of course. An English Tudor queen who's somehow African.
Wait, what is this one? What's going on here? What's this? What's this one, dude? Why is there some black queen? Dude, at Berlin. Some Netflix thing. I mean, I don't spend I don't really care about this, you know, that much. If I see something that looks like this, I'm just like, I won't fucking watch it, you know. And the thing is, you say, if you complain about this, you lose. Well, that's not really true, because if they complain about it, they make a fucking ton of money. Because people love shit like this. They love getting mad about, you know, TV shows they won't watch having black people in. But yeah, stuff like this, I don't personally think is, you know, I'm like fucking stupid, isn't it, you know? Why have you got a black queen? It's just silly. It's like silly. It's like laughable. It's like pitiful.
It just makes sense.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Well, no,
my
actually,
God,
it doesn't. And you know what? I think people are getting a bit sick of this shit. They're getting sick of being written out of their own cultural heritage and even their own history. They're getting sick of being labelled racist just for pointing out something that's provably, verifiably bullshit. And
I mean, the thing is, those lines there, to me, right? That reads as speaking to his audience of like, oh, dude, do you know what I mean? It's like, he's speaking directly to his audience. You guys are sick of this, right? You guys are sick of this. You guys are absolutely sick of this. And you're right to be sick of this. And you're right to watch me tell you how bad it is. Also, yeah, how old is some of this stuff? All like 5 years old from controversies long over. I don't know how prevalent. I do, to be honest with you. I can't even remember the last time I watched a new thing. Really. I watched Obsession, which didn't really have any woke shit in. I watched The Backrooms at the cinema. But I haven't really, I don't really watch all this new Netflix stuff. I just tend to think it's a rubbish, you know? We're winning, dude. Yes, this is so true, man. We're winning now, actually. People on our side now actually woke. We've gone soon, really. It's been happening for years, so why does it matter? Well, I think the point there is that they just pack it full of examples that are already well worn and been discussed to death. So, what new examples exist? Did you see the Black Minions now in the new movie? No. Wait, what? There's Black Minions now.
And they're getting sick of being expected to just shut up and accept it. Which is why the casting of Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy, one of the most iconically beautiful women in all of literature, hit a bit of a sore spot for a lot of people and probably came at the worst possible time. Now, personally, I like Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's a talented actress, but come on, man. There's no fucking way you're
Whoa! Hey! Dude, bro, he's even, dude, he's more woke than I am. I was saying that Shaniqua Niggo is like shit, I've never heard of her before, but he seems to be quite praiseful of her.
Me or anyone else that she was the right person to play this role.
It's an act of lunacy.
That's right, Sean Connery, it is. You know what's also an act of lunacy? Casting Elliot Page in this movie, which brings me neatly along to my second issue in the unholy trifecta. Gender ideology. Now, we all know that Elliot Page...
Oh my god, they're still using that, dude, they're still using that clip, bro. They're still using that fucking... Dude, they're still using that one clip now, still to this day.
Recently transitioned from female to male, and that's fine by me. I hope he's living his best life now and that he's happy and fulfilled. But it does create a bit of a problem when it comes to casting, because Elliot Page is 5'1" and weighs about 90 pounds soaking wet. He makes Millie Alcock look positively statuesque, and no amount of shadowboxing videos is going to change that. Notice how they put him next to the smallest man they could possibly...
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Dude, those nipples are fucked, bro. They've tried to create a sort of grotesque, monstrous parody of a male nipple. Oh, my God. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, oh, it's a woman, it's a woman. If you think it's a woman, then you're showing a naked chest. Well, the problem is, it's not a naked woman's chest. But it's also not a naked man's chest. They basically just butchered a woman's chest to make it look as close to a male chest as they possibly can. But they've made some missteps along the way. Such as whatever the fuck is going on here. That one doesn't look so bad. That one actually is not so bad. But that one is like, fucking hell, man. Looks like a dog's dinner. Looks like a fucking dog's dinner, man. What were they thinking? Sleep at the wheel when they were carving that one out, weren't they? Oh, it's like that. Oh, shit! And they fucking accidentally carve off a bit more than they're supposed to. Is she still snatched up? Is she still snatched? Is she still snatched? Anyone know? Is she still snatched with a pussy that stinks of male musk? Is that what's going on? Oh, or have they have they created the meaty flesh tube with the skin from his leg? Snatched or flesh tube? Call it. In fact, guys. Oh my God, poll time. Yes, perfect for a poll. Great stuff. Okay. Elliot Page. Option 1, snatched. Option 2, meat tube. Okay. Okay, guys. Get voting. Get voting. Get fucking voting. Get voting. Oh my God, dude.
Fine to try and make him look bigger? Well, your Jedi mind tricks won't work on me, son. Anyway, he's playing a Greek soldier named Sinon, who was never actually mentioned in the Odyssey or even the Iliad, but who cares at this point, because we're just winging this shit. But I mean, how? What the fuck is he supposed to fight against? I mean, his own armor probably weighs more than he does. The moment he's on screen amongst other men, he's gonna look like a small, malnourished child playing at soldiers. Believing this kind of crap requires the same kind of mental gymnastics that allows 5'3" Scarlett Johansson to beat up a room full of men twice her size. Again, it's something we've all had to collectively suffer through for like a decade now, this notion that men and women's fighting potential is even vaguely comparable. And well, nobody buys it anymore, man. Especially in a movie made by Mr. Ultra Serious Christopher Nolan. This isn't some cheesy action flick or a dumb superhero.
Dude, how much is Elliot Page? Yeah, like in Rogue Elements, right? Oh man, that was a big L. But he's managed to just bounce back, hasn't he, and keep making videos. But obviously people don't want to, you know, think about that. Think about the fact that this movie fucking sucked.
Movie where believability sits firmly on the back burner. This is meant to be a grounded, realistically portrayed narrative, and it looks ridiculous. The third issue is a less prominent one, but I do get the feeling it's becoming more prevalent as time goes on, and the best way I can describe it really is Zendaya fatigue. Right now, it just feels like the girl is fucking everywhere. Not only is she in 4 separate high-profile movies this year alone, plus Euphoria on TV, but she also seems to be getting lavished with so much new—
Dude, where's that meme? Where's that Zendaya meme of her as a racist Wojak? Do you know the one I mean in Dune? Who's got that one?
News coverage and fake praise that it's becoming exhausting. Again, much like
well, she's an actress that seemingly is getting a lot of work in all these movies, and there's a lot of criticism because people think that there's some criticism, which is that she's some sort of mystery meat mutt who doesn't deserve to be in movies. But then there's also other commentary, which is that she's not a particularly, good actress.
Lupita Nyong'o, I've got nothing against her on a personal level. She seems pleasant enough and she usually comes across well in interviews. I mean, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the perpetually confused scowl that seems to pass for her acting style, but maybe that's just a personal thing. The point though is that her rise to fame just feels astroturfed. She feels like an actress that's popular because someone in Hollywood decided she was going to be popular and not because there was this huge swell of fan support for her. She's like a mid-card wrestler suddenly given a main event push because the bookers want to see if they've got headliner potential. Sometimes it works, but most of the time they fizzle out after a few years, and well, I've got a feeling I know which way she's gonna go. Now, if I was casting the Greek goddess Athena, I'd be looking for an actress with an insane level of charisma, screen presence, and gravitas, not to mention acting range, and unless there's something about her that I've somehow missed over the years, I just don't see any of those qualities in Zendaya. I think she's gonna have to dig real deep for this one, only to discover she doesn't—
Don't you want like a robust woman to play that sort of role? Like you know what I mean by robust woman? She's like all wiry and slim, isn't she?
Doesn't have a big enough shovel. Ultimately, though, maybe this backlash, for all its noise, is just confined to the internet, and the normies out there couldn't give a shit about any of these casting controversies. I mean, Christopher Nolan is one of the few star directors out there who can sell tickets on his name alone, so I definitely wouldn't count him out with this one. Is it going to reach Oppenheimer levels of success? Probably not, but I do think it'll turn a healthy profit. And what the hell? Maybe he'll surprise us all and create a genuine masterpiece with the Odyssey, but I don't know, man. I've got this weird little feeling that he might have gone a bridge too far with this one. Either way, we'll find out in a couple of weeks. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Okay, well, there we go, guys. Make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. They don't understand the Odyssey. Stuffing it for the blacks is good, actually. Okay, guys. I'm going to watch Burnham's speech. Burnham's about to become the leader of the Labour Party, and he's going to give a speech.
All the time about what they make of different policy and different announcements, and we'll see over the next few weeks and months whether that continues or whether they again kind of feel like they can't really say what they really think about stuff.
So a bit of
Guys,
what we're expecting. We are
ladies and gentlemen, the votes are in. The die's been cast. Elliot Page is officially snatched. Officially snatched. Elliot Page is snatched.
The main event.
Well done, guys. Well done, guys.
Burnham. No one else ran against him, so it was pretty clear pretty quickly that this guy was going to end up in number 10 by
Put this on your watch
Let's
list.
go back to the room, shall we? Can bring
What's
back,
going on, guys?
Sam
So I
Coates in,
recently saw
What is this, dude?
It is
Lion Gay Jew. That's that guy that got mocked.
A slight hush has descended, so they've just jacked up the music to make sure it doesn't feel like there's an awkward silence. But you can see the Labour family behind me. This is Labour gathering for the big moment, as you say. In just a few minutes' time, the Labour leadership will regenerate from Keir.
What's going on in Chud's head? Me and Elliot Page on a camping trip. Wow, this is a great campfire, Elliot. And you really helped by splitting that one log over the course of 40 minutes. Real outdoorsman here, ha ha ha. Hey, bit of an awful question, but you still got that pussy. Oh, that's great, man. That's great. That's actually very funny, isn't it? That's very funny.
From me. Mostly you are getting Labour MPs, Labour officers for the Labour Party saying that the reason that they think that Andy Burnham represents, let's be crude about it, an upgrade on Keir Starmer is because he provides a hope and an optimism and a way of communicating with people that Keir Starmer, frankly, never really had at any point when he was Labour leader in opposition or for the 2 years that he was Prime Minister. He has a sort of an easygoing manner about him that does at this stage seems to bring people with him. We saw that in Makerfield. Potentially we're seeing that in the polling for the Greater Manchester Metro Mayor, where there seemed to be a little bit of an Andy Burnham bounce. And it's that human skill that has led the people in this room to choose Andy Burnham by overwhelming acclamation. I mean, talk about landslides. 379 of the 403 Labour MPs, every single affiliated trade union, each one of them backing Andy Burnham. Almost no dissent. In fact, one Labour MP.
We are yeah, dude. Andy Burnham stacking his advisory board or whatever with a bunch of fucking woke tards that hate racism, so I'm fucked. They're going to track me down and lynch me.
Back to different candidates, but even the person they backed is an Andy Burnham supporter. So you can see just how much the party that is sitting now...
Now, to be honest with you, there is a lot of pressure. I mean, as much as I was joking about the Anglo Pigeon thing earlier, there is a lot of pressure to, appeal to reform voters or former Labour voters that have gone reform or might go reform at the next election. So, honestly, I would, people that sort of talk about it on Twitter, I don't think Andy Burnham's going to be like a massive anti-far right guy. I don't think he's going to come out and be like, yeah, you bloody racists. It's going to be very much trying to soft appeal to racists, essentially, without explicitly being like, yeah, send them back. Because otherwise it's going to be a total disaster. you know? And I think that Andy should talk about what Labour have done to positively influence the immigration debate. Dude, he is better than Starmer in a multitude of ways, but it doesn't mean that he's perfect. And I don't think Labour's going to win the next election. I think even with all this stuff with Farage, I don't think it's going to be enough. And I think that there's probably going to be some sort of split hung parliament between Reform and Conservatives. I still think that's, you know, before maybe Reform get a majority, with all this controversy, it's probably going to be a split Conservative Reform hung parliament situation.
Has gathered behind one guy, but they do not know what the difficult stuff looks like, what the trade-offs look like. Will he go big on social?
But anything could change.
Something that he's campaigned on for 16 years, or will that be part because there isn't any money? Where will he find the cash for defence, which he says is the top priority? How will he go about delivering on this devolution promise, handing powers and money to the regions, when that could actually gum up the system with a big Whitehall reorganisation for the better part of 2 years, meaning that people's lives don't get better? We don't have a sense of that, nor do we have a sense really of who the top cabinet names are. We think that maybe Shabana Mahmood, who is chair of the National Executive Committee and currently Home Secretary, will end up being next door to Andy Burnham in number 11. You can hear the music suddenly cut. But we just do not know. So a lot of known unknowns, but for the moment, this is a Labour family gathering to celebrate a moment, try and avoid looking back at the past where they knifed his predecessor, and celebrate a moment where a new Prime Minister could put the Labour Party back on the front foot again. Sophie.
Sam, thank you very much indeed. We are just minutes away now from the moment when Andy Burnham, MP for Makerfield, is going to become leader of the Labour Party.
Let's go, come on.
What is his vision? Our politics.
Come on.
He thinks the decision.
Come on.
As well. How will he be able to translate that into Westminster? Will he be able to do it successfully? Will he be able to bring his party with him in order to make the change that he says the country requires? And then, of course, how do you deliver change, which he's promised, without the question of mandate, without straying too far?
They said it was impossible. They said it was impossible, but here he is.
That legitimised this Labour Party and this Labour Party of government as well. A lot of questions to be asked, and I think we're going to start getting the answers to them in the moments and the days.
Oh, he's late.
As we await.
It's over. He's late.
In the central London location, in this.
It's over. He's late. It's done for. Hooray!
Speeches from.
Here he is.
You can see at the back
the
there,
king
Andy
of the
Burnham.
north.
In front of him, Lucy Powell and Shabana Mahmood. They're speaking as their.
Sadly, you're raped.
Yo, thank you for the kicks. Thank you.
And chair of the National Executive Committee. 2 people, of course, expecting to get a job in that cabinet as well.
Honestly, Shabana Mahmood is being touted as a Chancellor. I think she could be quite good. But we'll see. We'll see.
Sadly, you're raped.
Yo, Sister Barrymore, thank you for the kicks. Thank you.
Lucy Powell. Let's listen.
Welcome. So, welcome conference. Welcome to this special conference here at the fantastic Congress House. Isn't it great to be here today in this historic building? We're here for a special conference. It feels like the sort of last day of term a bit today, doesn't it? It's kind of non-uniform day. Not for you today, Andy. And maybe we'll go and have a water fight later out the back if anyone's up for that. But we're here to announce who is going to be the next Labour leader. I can feel the tension in the air. The anticipation is rising. I know you're all looking for those special clues. Who's got their lanyard on? Who's got the tie on? Are their legs crossed? Well, all will be revealed very soon. It feels a bit like the tension we all felt on Wednesday night watching England play Argentina. I know. Wouldn't it have been nice if that was 369-1 on Wednesday night? But alas, it wasn't. And we don't have a World Cup final to look forward to, but we do have a new chapter, a new era of the Labour Party to look forward to. But before we turn the page, I just want to take a moment to consider the last chapter and pay a few respects, and I hope you will all join me in doing that. First of all, can I thank and pay my respects to Keir Starmer.
Well done, Starmer. Well done, mate. But it was time to go. Well, dude, the reality is the UK is just in an absolute state. I saw this on Twitter. I didn't actually check. Is it true that the UK had 0.1% growth in March or May? Sorry, is that accurate? That seems pretty bleak, doesn't it? That seems pretty fucking rough, doesn't it? Oh dear.
That's really nice. And his legacy will be of the guy who helped save.
Also, there's reporting as well that Labour's house building target of 1.5 million by the end of Parliament is also raped, and they're going to get nowhere close to that. And that is held back by planning issues and things like that. Oh, dude. Oh, my fucking God, dude. Gary fixes this. Very funny.
Labour Party. He took us from that historic defeat and just 4 years later took us to that historic election victory, and we thank him for that. And that meant that we had a really strong Labour government that was able to deliver on our Labour values, and he, under his leadership, he did just that, lifting 500,000 children out of poverty.
The reality is, dudes, you know, and I'm not an economist, so, you know, take it with a pinch of salt if you so wish. We are spending too much money. We are spending too much money, and it's projected to increase dramatically. And the UK needs austerity at the moment, and they need to pull back on spending. I think there is some probably tax things you can do to shift the burden a bit somewhere, or solicit more tax money possibly. I don't fucking know. But we're just spending too much fucking money. The welfare bill is spiraling out of control. And, you know, I've not looked at all the other details of it, but I'm sure there's other government expenditure that is, you know, excessive as well. We need to tax the poor. We need to tax the poor. We need to tax the poor. But no, dude, we're just in a raped state. And unfortunately, growth is miserable. And yeah. Oh, look, here we go. Here we go. UK economy returns to growth in May. Oh my God, dude, the BBC. Dude, this is actually unironically state propaganda. What the fuck is this, man? What a fucking headline, dude. Fuck off, bro. The UK's economy returned to growth in May, but the expansion was modest as businesses were affected by the impact of the Iran war. The economy grew by 0.1%. Well, the reality is, Brexit's had a massive impact. Also, we're not capitalising on any of these technological developments and shit that seemingly are happening at the moment. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. We just don't seem to be having like a sort of San Francisco-esque technology surge, really. I don't know, man. We just seem to be a bit raped. And as much as Brexit definitely influenced this and had a massive impact, it's like, how much longer can we sit complaining about it, you know? Realistically, we've got to put that behind us and crack on at the end of the day. Because we can't just sit and moan about Brexit all the time. Like, it's happened, it's done. And I don't know, man. We got to find a means to move forward. Jesus Christ, dude. 0.1%. That's rough, man. The whole world is fucked. America's not. America, I'm pretty sure, has got quite strong economic growth, hasn't it? America's doing quite well, I thought, broadly speaking. Is it? I thought that economists point to America as an example of a growing economy. You can't stop complaining until pensioners are banned from voting and Nigel is strung up by meat hooks. Okay, dude. Anyway, not looking good. It's not looking good.
Wages rising and interest rates falling. Restoring Britain's standing around the world as a force for good and change. Ending no-fault evictions. Rail back into public ownership and giving our mayors powers over buses, of which I'm sure we'll hear more about. Day one rights to sick pay, and finally ending 0 hours contracts. And just this week, Hillsborough Law. What a moment that was. And finally, ending the hereditary principle in the House of Lords. That is just to name a few. That is a legacy he can be very, very proud of. And can I also thank Keir and his team for the way in which they've conducted themselves in recent weeks, with dignity and with grace. Changing leader is never easy. But I'm really pleased and proud with the way that we have gone through this process as one.
0 hour contracts feel like a rite of passage for a 16-year something who lived near Sports Direct. No, 0 hour contracts are fucking bullshit, dude. That is actually obscene that a company can, you know, put you in a situation where you're contracted with 0 hours and then you don't know week by week or month by month what you're working. That's you know, too favourable towards businesses.
Labour team. And that wouldn't have been possible.
Do you seriously? So the problem with Labour now is they are hampered by ideology, and there's a bunch of left-wing backbenchers that won't permit the needful to be done, right? So if Andy Burnham started talking about removing the triple lock, I mean, that's more so a broader issue. But, you know, triple lock is just a policy they can't go near because it's too, you know, bad for the pensioners. The pensioners will revolt and won't vote. For them, it's a fucking nightmare, man, really. It is difficult, but the triple lock needs to go. It needs to go. It's too expensive. And disability benefits need to be cut and restricted. Who can claim them? They shouldn't be accessible to people that are depressed. Dude, I was thinking about this as well in terms of the disability thing, right? So a portion of your PIP payment is for mobility, right? And that's worth a few £100 a month. Why does a depressed person need money for mobility? What are you paying for to make yourself more mobile if you're depressed, bro? It's all a fucking mindset, mental illness thing. It's not like you can buy something that helps you move about. It's fucking preposterous, dude. It's absolutely preposterous that that ever was allowed to occur. But yet, here we are. You can have anxiety and get 300 odd quid a month, 400 quid a month, because you've got mobility issues, and the mobility issue is you've got anxiety. Fucking hell, dude. So there's just tons of problems like that. But he's not going to go near that. Or the thing is, it's going to be modest. It's going to be modest changes. There's that Tim's review they're doing, looking into it, which who knows what's going to come up as a result of that. But the issue that Labour have got is there's enough left-wing power on the backbenchers to interfere with and interrupt actual things that need to happen, like austerity measures on government spending. So they're just hampered by ideology, which means that hard decisions are not going to be made. And so it's going to be watered down shit, essentially. You know? I wonder who costs more in terms of mobility, a paraplegic or some fat pig with anxiety that wants a government-paid BMW. I saw people downplaying it on Twitter, by the way. People were like, oh, they say that if you got a sneeze, you can get a Lamborghini. And it's like making it sound absurd when there was, and still is, I think, a legitimate issue with how that scheme works. The backbenchers are MPs that don't hold an office in government, that aren't like a minister or work for an office, and but they're the voting bloc essentially for the Labour Party in Parliament. So if they want to get policy passed, the idea is they've got a majority, but then all of the MPs need to sing along the same hymn sheet and vote for it, and there could be a rebellion. So the lefty MPs can say, we're not going to vote for this policy, and that stops it dead because they can't get it through unless the MPs vote for it. And if it's like 6 MPs or 7 MPs that are saying, we're not going to vote for this, that's fine. They'll normally punish them by removing them. They do what's called removing the whip, which is they basically aren't allowed to represent. They're basically not in the Labour Party for a period of time, and don't benefit from, from that. So they could just say, right, well, we remove the whip for 6 months, right? But if there's like 100, 200 MPs that are saying we're not going to vote for this, that stops the policy going through. So there's power there for them to get together and say, we're going to all say we're not going to vote for this policy. And that's what happened with Starmer's changes to PIP. All the lefty MPs were up in arms because they were acting like wheelchair people. They were acting like people were going to get chucked out of their wheelchairs and repossessed by the government or some shit, When really, Starmer's changes were good. But obviously, going after disabled, it's a bad look, isn't it, And they get, dude, it's so obnoxious. They get a bunch of fucking cripples wheeled up in front of Westminster in a wheelchair to go, oh, look, this is who you're taking money away from. And it's not that at all.
Possible without all of you in this room today. I want to say a big thank you as well to the candidates team, still a candidate. Andy Burnham, you and your team have really been incredible.
Oh, this is the Zendaya meme I was talking about.
Throughout this
yes.
process. Thank you for that.
Yes, yes.
And thank you to all the Labour Party roll holders, the elected representatives, our trade union colleagues for helping
Okay, anyway, come on, get to Andy.
Into steadier waters.
What did Shabana say?
Too. But most of all, can I thank our...
Without further ado, I will now introduce
What did our racist queen, Shabana Mahmood, say?
Shabana Mahmood.
What did the ladder puller, Shabana Mahmood, say? Let's go.
National Executive
of the Labour Party. Thank you very much, Holly. As Chair of the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party, I have the honour of announcing the result of the Labour Party Leadership Contest 2026. This is the formal bit. Following the resignation of Sir Keir Starmer as Labour's leader, the NEC set out the procedures and timetable for a contest to seek his replacement. The returning officer has informed me that the requirements of that contest have now been met. It's hardly a nail-biter, folks.
Dude, the thing is, people hate Shabana Mahmood because she's a Muslim or whatever the fuck she is. But she's actually, I'm pretty sure she's associated with this Blue Labour movement. Blue Labour being socially conservative, lefty shit, essentially. So even though she looks like she'd be woke, I mean, look at her policies on fucking immigration, bro. Right? She has tried to get as stringent a policy as she can within the confines of Labour's ideology.
And so, despite the efforts of a lone MP, I can confirm that there was only one eligibly nominated candidate. Following the period of nominations by Labour MPs, one candidate received 379 nominations. Having met the threshold of 20% of the Parliamentary Labour Party, they were eligible to proceed to the next stage. One other candidate received one nomination and is not eligible to proceed. Among the affiliated trade unions and socialist societies, the one eligible candidate received 23 nominations in total. This included nominations from all 11 trade unions, comprising well over 5% of the affiliated membership. There being no other eligibly nominated candidate, it is therefore my honour to declare that the duly elected leader of the Labour Party is Andy Burnham.
There it is, guys. History in the making. History in the making.
everybody. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
What do you think is going to be taken from me next? Well, I've obviously, you know, have been following very closely the discussion about what Burnham's tax proposals are going to be. But I don't think there's anything too crazy from what I've seen. The biggest thing is this change of property tax, but then that's potentially rescinding council tax. But I obviously, you know, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. There's a lot of natter about it. No, Gary Stevenson is not his top guy. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You know, I think the obvious issue is there is an angle that I've seen promoted of we need to ask people to pay a bit more. And I think, okay, but what about cuts? Like, I get paying more. I can see there being room to, you know, even get it so that people are paying what is more relative to their worth, for example, right? Like, there are problems with the tax system. Like, it is ridiculous that someone can be in a property that's worth millions, and the only tax they pay that represents that is council tax, which is often far below what the relative worth of the property is, because it's based on how much it was worth in 1991. So, and then someone in a £1 million property could be paying less council tax than someone in an X property. You know, I think, yeah, there's definitely alleviations you can make, for sure. Oh, fuck off with the wealth tax shit, bro. I know you're trying to wind me up. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm very much, there's always a lot of conversation about what's going to happen. I think you're better off waiting till it's determined what's going to happen and then having an opinion based on that, you know?
So much, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.
£1 million profit doesn't mean someone is rich. Yeah, but if you have percentage rate tax on a property and you remove capital stamp duty, right? Because if someone is sat in a house that's worth a shitload of money, refusing to sell it, but they could downsize, realize the equity, and the only thing that's holding them back is stamp duty, you know, I think that's a good concept. I think that's a good idea. Because there are people that are sat in a property that's worth a fucking fortune and don't need the money, but they're worried to move because they can't realize it without paying stamp duty, shit like that. Yes, dude. Yes, there are people that are sat in properties that they don't need. Yes, that is a thing that exists. Pensioners, fucking baby boomers. Yes. People just don't want to move out the place they live for 40 years. Well, unfortunately, hey, wait a minute. Wait a second. Wait a second. I thought if you don't have the means to exist somewhere, you got to move. Bro, wait a second. Yes. Yes, dude. If you can't afford to live somewhere on the base, you got to move. Yes, dude. Yes, dude.
Thank you so much, friends. What a moment. And what backing you've given me. All our affiliated trade unions, all our socialist societies, 379 of our MPs, and I don't need to say commiserations to Catherine West, because she backed me too. Thanks, Catherine. All of them heard the call from the people of Makerfield on behalf of forgotten places everywhere up and down this country for a return of the Labour they once knew. And now we answer that call. We will be that version of Labour again. We are united today, as Holly said, as Lucy said, and Shabana said, and thank you so much for your words. We are united, and we put the power that comes from that unity at the service of people and places who have been waiting too long for politics to let them hope again. And that's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to give them hope back. This is a proud moment you have given me and my family today, and an emotional one. But it is one for which I am ready. I am ready. Ready to lead and to build on the foundation laid by one person more than any other. Under Keir Starmer's leadership, we went from our worst defeat to one of the best victories in our history.
The problem is, dude, people are just not happy with the slow pace of change of politics, of electoral politics. And people want instantaneous gratification. And it was the same under Starmer, bro. It was the same under Starmer, as they didn't immediately see boats full of people getting sent into the fucking sea and blown to smithereens. And then, oh, nothing's happening. It's like, things are happening and things are moving forward. But it's obviously not at a pace that the Twitter instant gratification people want. Or, you know, people across the country don't like. So it's just, we're just raped. We're just basically raped. Our country's very raped. It's in a bad state. That's the product of a lot of historical issues and influences. And there isn't a fix the switch button. Burnham is inheriting a pretty rough further thing to deal with. And there isn't going to be an easy thing that he can fix and pull the switch on, you know? And he's got to balance all these different factors. He's got to balance the threat from the left, the threat from his own party on policies not going through, the Green Party. He's got to balance, you know, reform, pushing all their policies, and Restore to some degree, who are even more racist, pushing their anti-immigration shit. It's too, like, you know, and Starmer's problem was he was constantly trying to balance between these things, and he didn't really have a good message or driving line of perspective or ideology, which I think Burnham does, but it's whether or not that can be realized in policy that is effective and has this impact of placating the right people and pleasing the right people. Blow up 1 or 2 immigrant boats and Reform, Restore lose half their support. Yes, dude, yes, 1 immigrant boat is all it'll take. Pick one that's full of fighting age males.
Keir put Labour back in a position to change people's lives, and that is what we have been doing these last 2 years. New rights for workers and for renters. NHS waiting lists falling for the first time in years. In fact, since I was Health Secretary, I think, so well done, Wes. Rail back under public control. Britain's reputation rebuilt on the world stage. And as Lucy said, just this week, the biggest rebalancing of the scales of justice this country has ever seen.
How long till you super vacuum suck it? Stop vacuum sucking the sky off, trying to give it 4 months. Well, I am, you know, I think Burnham, my view on Burnham is, what other choice does Labour have if they want to win the next election? Starmer is not tenable. He's already massively unpopular, and it's unlikely that that's going to change. This move is the only option that Labour have if they've got any chance of holding on to power. But I don't think it's enough. I think that it's too fucked, and I think that any party for the next decade is going to struggle with this perception of how quickly things can change versus how quickly things actually do change. So I'm not sat here thinking, oh yeah, Burnham's in now, Labour's going to win or whatever. It's like, no, Reform and the Conservatives are probably going to have a sort of joint deal at the next election because Labour are just raped and they've inherited this terrible legacy and they can't move fast enough to fix it. So, but no, dude, it's, you know, it's a chance, possibly, but I'm sceptical.
Today we thank Keir for his service to our party and to our country. Ten years ago, he and I worked together, drawing up the original Hillsborough law in my office in the aftermath of the second Hillsborough inquest, and I drew on all of his legal expertise.
So I'm not seeing this being reported by The Guardian, actually. I'm trying to find the Guardian article about this. All I got is the Telegraph, GB News, and the Daily Express. But there is some sort of finding, apparently, recently, that a Gazan family of 18 can come to Britain. Did you guys see this? Oh my God, man. Good Lord. Family of 18 from Gaza win human rights to stay in UK, risking the floodgates to thousands. A Palestinian family from Gaza has won a major legal battle to come to Britain after a judge ruled refusing them entry would breach their human rights. The case saw the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, failed in her attempt to overturn an earlier tribunal ruling allowing the family to join relatives already living in the UK. So this is the point, is people, Shabana Mahmood is not for this. But there is a issue with the judiciary, obviously having this ability to make these determinations, these rulings, in ways that create problems for the government. That then, what do they do about this? Well, you need to put in place new legislation to tie this off and make sure this can't happen, right? But this does seem pretty wacky, I must say. That an extended family can come to the UK. And that's, 80 or however many people are kids and all this stuff, that are going to be a drain and, drain on the economy and so on. The decision means that extended family centre people can seek refuge in Britain under Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights, which protects the right to family life. The family includes the parents of a British-based woman, her brother, his wife and 4 children, one sister and her 4 children, another sister, her husband, and their 3 children. I mean, does this not just seem excessive? I mean, even the most progressively minded person, does this not seem an insane concept that you can just bring all these people across off the back of this one person having the right to come here? 18 fighting age PTSD riddled third worlders. Okay, that's a bit much, isn't it? That's a bit much. Okay. The family's original visa application was made in November 2023, just weeks after the Hamas attacks on Israel. After the application was refused, the family successfully appealed on human rights ground in the lower tribunal in April last year. The Home Secretary challenged the decision before the upper tribunal, arguing the ruling should be overturned. And then they upheld the earlier judgment. She found there was no legal basis to interfere with the original decision. So it's that issue of balancing humanitarian need, which I obviously support because I'm a blue-pilled libtard, with the practical reality of, is it reasonable that an entire family of 18 can just come over here off the back of one visa application? That seems fucked. That seems like wrong to me. And that there's a sort of loophole that exists then. That so many people can come in, and I don't know what the circumstances are, but to me, it would seem that these people are likely not the kind of immigrant that are going to come and start, what's the equation on what they contribute to the economy versus what they take out? I don't know. I don't know their situation and circumstances and whether they'll be working and things like that or whatever. But it just seems like a bad proposition that creates, further issues down the line if we're able to just stuff a bunch of people off the back of one visa application into a country arguing this right to human life. Like, to me, the right to human life is your direct family, like you, your kids, your parents, maybe, something like that. But it seems like this is applying to an extended family. It's like one of those where there's this principle that exists, which is, your family should be able to come. Like, for example, if you got a kid, if you got a few kids, sure. That's the principle to me. Not your extended family. That's excessive. That seems excessive. And even though it maybe fits within the letter of the law, it doesn't seem to me to be the spirit of what the law's trying to get at. Because it shouldn't be your extended family gets to come. That's ridiculous. So, Anglo-Pigeon's got a different take, of course. Foreigners should not have the right to life. Right, okay, David. Okay, right.
When I presented that bill to Parliament, to be in Parliament on Tuesday, when Keir delivered on his promise to the Hillsborough families and all of the other campaigners who were part of the Hillsborough Law Now campaign.
Wait a second, what's this? Going to stop supporting me because I'm going to filthy layabouts. Don't worry, we'll be avoiding as much as we can. I'll be avoiding as much of that as I can. Don't you worry about that, dude. Okay? Don't you worry about that, trust me. Max avoidance schemes have been engaged.
A promise to end the cover-up culture in this country, to pass power from the authorities to ordinary people, and to prevent anyone in future going through...
Dude, do you know what's crazy, right? So they just announced that they're going to bring forward the increase of the age of the state pension up to 68 or something like that, right? There's also this other thing where if you've got other pensions, not state pensions, but self-invested pensions and things like that, when you hit 55 or 57 as of 2028, when you hit 57, you can pull 25% out up to a maximum of £250,000 tax-free of whatever pension pots you've got, right? And I was thinking, it made me feel really old because I was thinking, well, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, because if you put money in a pension, it's tax efficient. You can do it before you pay corporation tax, right? And I was thinking, I don't need to worry about that. That's fucking ages away. And then I was like, oh shit, dude. Actually, that's only 17 years from now. So that isn't actually a fucking that far away if I think about it. So it's actually not a crazy idea to stuff some money into a pension for that purpose because I'm actually not far off. So it's made me feel really old. Like 17 years from now, I could potentially be retiring, dude. Right. What the fuck, man? That's crazy.
The Hillsborough families did. It felt to me like life coming full circle.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
When it comes to their family members, they need to be forced to make Sophie's choice, if you catch my meaning. It is that or be turned into a fine sausage-filling paste.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the tip. Thank you.
The journey to this stage today began in earnest at Anfield in April 2009. The COP made me confront the fact that this country does not work for working class communities like the city of my birth. In fact, it's worse. It turned its back on them. Political power was used viciously against them to protect vested interests. Economic power cruelly stripped with the deindustrialization of the 1980s, as it was against...
If you are still streaming at the same age as Tommy C, will you see yourself as a failure? I think by that point, it should be purely for leisure. I think that, you know, streaming, like you want to have things set up so that you could just do it as a laugh and not have to rely on an income from it, right? How old is he? 50? Probably. But the thing is, if it's just for a laugh, if it's just, you know, like if you're just going live to laugh at whatever crazy shit's happening or something, I don't fucking know. There's probably something in that. But I think relying on streaming income at 50 is a sign that things have gone awry. It's a bit like being a footballer, right? It's a bit like being a footballer. You know, you're in your prime, you're going hard at it. Later on, maybe you're just sort of commentating a little bit, you know, something like that.
So many places up and down the land. And let us never forget, these are the very same places that built this labour movement, this trade union movement where we are today, Paul. Those are the places, but they were the places that were done down. This labour movement, the trade union movement, was forged in the steelworks and ironworks of Sheffield, Scunthorpe, Port Talbot and Teesside, in the coalfields of South Wales, Central Scotland, Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire, Yorkshire and Lancashire.
I guess one of the challenges this country does have is there's all these fucking former areas where people were coal miners and shit. And really what should have happened is there should have been a transition skill-wise into like technology-based stuff, and that just didn't really happen, you know? And there's this skill gap. But how do you fix that now? I don't really understand how you fix that now and what you do. Like, he's got this devolution plan. What does that actually look like? What do you do with these areas? Yeah, I don't know. The reason to stop would be to move on to pastures new off the money dried up. Why are you basing it off of age? Well, actually, I think I'll just reset that a bit. I think streaming, because I probably, you know, I think I will always do a stream. No matter what age I am, even if I'm 50, 60, I'll do a stream. But it's like, what does that stream look like? I think that matters, you know? I think it depends on what you're talking about. Like, no, I will. Dude, how could I not, bro? It's like literally the root of my success is doing this. I don't think I could ever give it up completely. But I think at some point, yeah, it does. You do sort of, I mean, you know, being 40 has definitely kind of made me think, do I want to be looking at, you know, sexting DMs of 15-year-olds or some shit? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit weird, isn't it, you know? So there's some stuff which I probably wouldn't talk about even now. But as time goes on, that probably becomes more profound, right? Although, to be honest with you, what with the content drought, I'd probably go for that right now. I'd probably go for some sort of pedo fucking drama. Holy fuck, man. But yeah, I think that, you know, obviously as you get older, you probably do have to change how you're doing things. It's like, what's his face? Who's that shock jock that's kind of matured with age? What's his name? What's his name? 80-year-old Chud complaining about immigrants on stream while a brown wipes his ass. Yeah, Howard Stern used to do crazy shock jock shit, and now he does like more serious interviews with celebrities, right?
In the mills across the Pennines, west and east, in the shipyards on the Clyde and on the Tyne, and in the dockyards of Liverpool and here in London. The people of these proud places made Labour. But we have to ask ourselves, just as I had to ask myself at Anfield that day.
If Labour gave a fuck about working class, they wouldn't downplay working class girls being raped by packies. Wow.
Have we been good enough for them?
Okay.
Change starts with honesty. We must recognise that this generation of politicians, myself included, have failed to challenge a political culture and an economic model that simply doesn't work well enough for ordinary people. 4 decades of the neoliberalism that began in the 1980s have not been kind to the places that built our party, nor to the communities across the UK in rural and coastal areas. So we pledge today to them to be better. And as I accept the honour of leading this party forward, I will tell you about 5
Let's
things
replicate
I will
this
do
poll
to make
here.
us so, to make us better. First, I will work relentlessly to build a culture of one Labour team, because change starts with us. We won't beat Britain's new right if we are consumed by infighting and pulling in different directions. That is, and always has been, an indulgence that falls heaviest on the people who need Labour most.
That's true.
Fighting to eradicate it and the insidious briefing culture that goes along with it will characterise my leadership.
Vote in the poll, vote in the poll.
When a Burnhamite walks into a bar, as many Burnhamites are known to do. Talking about you, Kevin. In future, when a Burnhamite walks into a bar, I want the barman to say, "Great to see you. We don't like factional politics in here."
Great joke, great joke. Great joke, my liege.
Now, you might know, and your reaction suggests so, there's a different version of that joke told by people who put internal politics before anything else. But here's...
Dude, it is true that Labour are just absolutely mired and raped by endless internal politics and bickering. It is a fucking nightmare, bro. You know, everyone's got this idea that their vision of Labour is the right way forward. The lefties, the kind of Blairite right. Oh my God, dude. It is so obnoxious, man. It's so obnoxious, bro. And you've got this kind of threat from various angles, and they're just also fighting amongst themselves.
Here's the truth. Their factionalism has bedeviled us. Today we move beyond it. I have supported all our Labour leaders in my lifetime because I believe...
Oh, fuck off, President Devious Rick. Chud polling his chat consisting of 50 Oswald Moseleys, what they think of Labour. Dude, it's only 70% saying no. 30% are saying yes.
A united Labour Party and Labour movement is the best hope for our country. And I know you believe that too, as do our members up and down the land. And I will lead this party in that spirit. Not seeking to suspend or punish members who have principled views that may be different from mine. But
okay, that's good actually, because basically when Keir Starmer first came in, there was the vote that I can't remember how it happened, but there ended up being this vote on this policy to rescind the 2-child benefit cap, get rid of it, and Labour at the time didn't want people to vote for that, and they punished the 6 or 7 MPs that voted conscience-wise to abolish the 2-child benefit cap. So they punished MPs that voted a certain way, only at the budget after next to announce that they were getting rid of the 2-child benefit cap. So what the fuck was the point of that then? Why did you punish MPs that voted for something you ended up doing? It's just so incoherent and stupid, and it's this retarded pursuit of whatever the polls say that Starmer engaged in that I think was a problem too. Like, just have a vision and go with it, and whatever, come what may, you know?
Unity by respecting all shades of opinion. And contrary to what you may keep on reading, I haven't made any decisions yet about who will be in that top team, but I will soon.
Oh!
And when I have, you will see it reflects all parts of our party, all communities, and it will reflect your own place within this great party of ours. A stronger, more united Labour Party lifting up a stronger and more united Britain. And this brings me to my second change. I will work to build a new politics. The country is crying out for it. We might enjoy the point scoring against others. The public don't. How can politicians point fingers when living standards are falling and politics as a whole isn't working for them? It infuriates them and makes them switch off. In Makerfield, I decided to make a break with this. I said we hadn't been good enough.
He doesn't like Gary Stevenson.
What I would do to fix it. You know what?
Anyway, unfortunately, I need to go soon. I need to go soon for a bit. I will return later, though. I will be returning later. What's so funny, dude, is all these lefties are banging on about Andy Burnham not talking to Gary or implementing a wealth policy, right? And they don't, dude, it's so crazy, bro. It raises $24 billion best case. That's the best case scenario. It doesn't pay for anything, bro. It pays for nothing. It pays for fucking nothing, dude. But they think it's the policy that Andy Burnham must implement. So stupid, man. Anyway, guys. Anyway. So the votes are in. 67% say no. 33% say yes. So actually quite split. We do still have some libtards in here. Oh, fuck off with the stream attacks, dude. It's so stupid, man. I already pay 30% of what I make to fucking tax, man, okay, bro? It's a lot. Fuck me. Fuck off. So annoying, dude. Oh, no, you need to pay more, actually. Dude, why do streamers have to pay more, bro? The poor need to pay more. They're not paying enough, dude. They're not paying enough. They're not paying enough. Richard Hanaya is a Christian Arab larping as a white while being a mutt. Oh, I saw a post from him that I actually thought, I was like, what's this? Where is it? Oh, this is it here. What was this he said? Let's have a look. The UK really is finished. I don't know how you look at the country and have much hope. In my Post-Equality Act 2010, I discussed the UK's absolutely insane wage policy. In short, supply and demand have been replaced by judges and labour boards with the authority to deem which jobs are equal and therefore should be paid equally. No one is alleging that... Dude, once again, it's the fucking judiciary sticking their nose in. No one is alleging that male or female warehouse workers are paid unequally, or that male and female retail workers are paid unequally, or that there are any direct or indirect discrimination. The only claim is that the warehouse workers, who are less likely to be female than retail workers, earn more than retail workers. Oh, I remember this. Yes, I remember this, dude. Warehouse work, they equalised pay or something between warehouse workers and retail workers because of the Equality Act, right? I remember this being a big thing back in the day, but I can't remember the detail of it. And since these jobs will be just equal, the company has violated the Equality Act. The warehouse workers are 50% female. Females are not barred from the high-paying jobs. The fact that 77% of retail workers were female suggested that retail workers, especially... Wasn't it that they said it's unequal, and rather than bringing the retail wage up, they brought the warehouse wage down? Is that what happened? So in order to make it equal, they brought the warehouse worker wage down. Is that what occurred? I can't fucking remember, dude. I'm pretty sure it's some crazy shit like that, wasn't it? Well, I could be wrong. I could be wrong about this. I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm going off the top of my head. I'm not sure. Any of the three female plaintiffs could have taken jobs in the warehouse. If the jobs are equal and the warehouse jobs pay more than this, on the plaintiff's theory, puzzling. Or as Ayn Rand would say, blank out. Okay. Not a fan of the Ayn Rand reference, but anyway. In fact, the court case reveals that Next was struggling to fill the warehouse positions and offered any retail employee, including the plaintiffs, the opportunity to switch to warehouse work. On cross-examination, one of the plaintiffs admitted that, given the unpleasant conditions in the warehouse, described by the court as the drone of machinery, vibration, alarm sirens, the screeching of machinery, wheels and rollers continuously present in all areas, the warehouse job did not seem particularly attractive compared to the greater autonomy and more appealing environment of the retail job. The plaintiff added she would have only considered the warehouse job if it paid a lot more money. Okay. And they want to apparently increase this. Am I correct about this, though? Oh, dude, I need to go, man. I'll look it up. And I'll report back when I start my stream later. And yes, I will be coming back. Definitely doing a gaming stream. And I'm probably going to take a look at this. I'll probably take a look at this because, I mean, there's not a massive amount happening. But apparently, one of the fish tank contestants died. From what I understand. I'm not lying. I'm being serious. Yes, a fish tank contestant killed herself or some shit. Yes, I'll do it later. We'll do that later. We'll get to that later. No, outside of the show, a popular former contestant topped themselves. Not on the show, after. Dude, I need to find out quickly now, actually. Was there a case? Was there a case involving equal pay between warehouse workers and retail employees? Dude, I can't fucking type properly. What was the outcome? Okay. Yeah. In August 2024, an employment tribunal ruled that Next failed to prove its pay gap was not sex discrimination. Over 3,500 predominantly female shop workers successfully argued their roles were of equal value to higher paid, predominantly male warehouse roles. The tribunal awarded claimants compensation estimated to be over £30 million. Fucking hell, dude. That's crazy. Dude, I don't have time to look out further. I'll try and find out. I'll try and find out what happened after that. But that's crazy, man. That is mental. I mean, a warehouse job is obviously less attractive than a retail job, and so you have to pay higher wages to compensate for that, right? Where would you rather work? A shop floor or a fucking warehouse? Obviously, you'd rather work on a shop floor, wouldn't you? Here's the update. The outgoing Keir Starmer government is trying to massively expand these laws. The equal value framework previously applied only to sex discrimination. Under the proposed law, employees could also bring equal value claims based on race and disability. Could you have a Downsy demanding equal pay even though they're fucking half the labour? It's like, dude. Surely not. Surely not. Surely not. Surely not. Anyway, I saw that post. You mentioned it and it just came up. Guys, my apologies today. It's a bit haphazard. I've got something at the school that I need to go to. It's, you know, one of those kind of parent things you kind of have to attend. So unfortunately, I do need to go to it. Unfortunately for you, I mean. I'm perfectly happy to go. But unfortunately for you. I'll be back in a few hours. I'm not sure. Give it probably 3 hours or something and I'll be back. I'll probably do a bit of whatever drama stuff there is and then play some games. So look out for that. In any case, thank you for watching this this little short early stream. I do appreciate it. And I will see you all get expelled for racism. Dude, my kids keep doing this. Oh, they keep doing that. I say, no, stop. They see an Asian person, they just go, oh, I've not taught them that. They've learned that from school or something. But they just keep doing it. And I'm like, God, stop that. It's bad. They're all racist. All the kids at school are racist. It's mental. It's fucking mental. It's not me. I promise it's not me. Right, guys. Hey, thank you for the kicks.
You are leaving me on my only day off. Shame on you.
I wish I could just keep the stream running. If it was only 10, 15 minutes, I would leave it running. But I need to go for hours, so I can't, unfortunately. But I will be back later, guys. I will be back later. Thank you for watching the early stream. I do appreciate it. And hopefully I'll catch you later. See you soon, hopefully.